of use counselors and officers. You can apply online at jobs.geogroup.com or call 575-392-4055. Geo Group is an equal opportunity employer.
You can build the best burger in town this week at Bob's Ridgeway with fresh ground beef, $1.99 a pound. Tender crust jumbo sliced buns, 8 count, $1.68. Food Club deal hamburger pickles, 32 ounce, $1.98. Borden singles, 12 ounce pack, only $2.48. And get Food Club ketchups and mustard, big 20 ounce, only 98 cents. And the red ripe tomatoes, only 99 cents a pound. And the jumbo sweet onions, 2 pounds for just $1. Those and over 150 high value inflation fighting specials this week, where your service and value is always the best, and where your grocery dollar always goes farther and they still carry your groceries out for you. You can build the best burger in town this week at Bob's Ridgeway, 906 West Avenue D in Lovington.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Good morning over the southeast plains of New Mexico on this Wednesday. It's 72 degrees in Roswell, but 81 degrees in Carlsbad, Artesia. A bit cooler on this Wednesday than yesterday. 75 degrees in Lovington. Then tomorrow's highs will begin to rebound somewhat. 77 degrees in Lovington and Carlsbad, Artesia near 81 degrees. Roswell near 79 degrees. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet. Online at carlsbadchevrolet.com. Text line at 877-396-W105. Brought to you by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Online at amigo-machinery.com. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. And YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook video feed brought to you by Desert Sand Water Well. Online at desertsandsnm.com.
Welcome, everyone.
It's National Pretzel Day.
Pretzel Day? Well, I like Pretzel Day.
Pretzels.
Sure you don't want a pretzel?
Here, try a pretzel.
Free pretzel? A pretzel?
How's your pretzel?
Good.
If a pretzel is a quality pretzel, you don't need salt.
In honor of National Pretzel Day,
I'm just gonna have my soft pretzel and be super productive.
It's showtime.
What is going on? It is Be in the Breakfast Club on a Wednesday. It is April 26th, 2023. Hope you're having a good one so far. It is 8 minutes after 6 o'clock as we get rolling. And we've got all kinds of things to talk about today. And of course, first things first, though, we got to talk about an accident that's already been reported. Apparently it happened about an hour ago. But 10 miles before Jow on 128, it's east of Jow. Triple accident. The road apparently is closed because it's got 3 passenger trucks on the same crash. So 10 miles east of Jow on 128. Just a heads up. And, of course, traffic update being brought to you by our friends at the Ragsdale Law Firm, reminding you to drive safe and get home to your family. And if you need an accident, if you have an accident and need help from Luke, he's there for you. You can go online and find out more at ragsdalelawfirm.com. Once again, accident reported 10 miles east of Jow on 128 this morning. It looks like 3 trucks involved in an accident. It looks pretty bad, according to the texters.
And we have a second accident to report this morning. As we arrived at the station, we have traffic snarl up right at the intersection of Country Club Road and the Denver City Highway, right here by the radio station. It's in the cleanup portions right now, but still a lot of emergency responders on scene. You can see plenty of lights. You can't miss it. 2-car accident, 1 on each side of the road. Bud spoke with the officers at the scene. No injuries.
Oh, good.
No serious injuries at that crash.
So Tom A. wasn't involved?
No. I had a crash right here. When I pulled up and I seen the lights, I thought, oh, well, Tom A's in the ditch. But that wasn't it.
Well, good. Oh, I'm glad it wasn't Tom A., but I hope everybody else is safe, and I hope everybody in the accident east of Jow is doing okay as well.
Did I just hear B or somebody jump in? I just heard the Skype thing.
I got nada.
Okay.
Maybe so.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. I thought I'd heard something. I'm waiting on B to call this morning. I expected.
No, I didn't hear or see anything. Nothing on my end.
Okay.
So maybe something beeped over there. So 877-396-W105, of course, powered by our friends at Carlsbad Chevrolet, Daniel Velis and the guys and gals. Make sure and check them out. And, of course, you can text, courtesy of our friends at Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer, 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell. You can find them online at amigo-machinery.com. We are broadcasting via all kinds of video platforms, YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. You can find those on the web, courtesy of our friends at Desert Sand Waterwell, online at desertsandsnm.com. Don't forget to mention you heard it on Being the Breakfast Club. Desert Sands will give you 10% off your service. Talk to them today about that. And, of course, question of the day being brought to you by our buddies at Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. Make sure and check them out. Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer, your question of the day sponsor. And question of the day, Mr. Russ.
Well, it's one make you ponder. What does everyone else seem to like that you can't stand? And that list could be long for me. What else is it that everybody else seems to like that you just can't stand? That's your question of the day.
Nothing jumps out at me that is something that people like and I can't stand.
Well, if you ever needed to get information out of me, tie me to a chair and play me rap music.
You're not a rap fan, huh?
No, that's just and it's like the biggest, R&B rap, that genre, isn't it the biggest in the world?
Something like that.
I would tell you where we're attacking in a heartbeat.
I guess it depends on who you ask.
There you go.
I don't know. Most markets don't have multiple rap stations. They do have multiple country stations. So I would argue that don't get me wrong, there's a lot of money in top 40, and the artists that do those make a lot more money than the country artists do typically, unless you're a George Strait or
right.
And of course, then you have the ones like Taylor Swift, who's cross genres, and Morgan Wallen, same thing. He's gone beyond just the country genre, so he's making some bucks.
Yeah, I should have said this one. Somebody stole my secondary answer, Taylor Swift. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So someone said Brussels sprouts. Actually, I like Brussels sprouts. So.
Oh, I love Brussels sprouts with butter and cream cheese.
Someone said raw celery and drama. I'm with you on the celery. I used to like it when I was a kid. I used to dig like the celery and cream cheese and celery and peanut butter.
Yeah.
I can't even stomach it at all now. I mean, if I even smell celery, it's like bleh.
Hey, Joe Biden, they can't stand him.
Yeah, who likes him though? I mean, I don't even think the liberals like him anymore. I don't think that's what everybody likes. Well, sour cream, cottage cheese, can't stand him. Someone said I'm a big time cottage cheese fan. So,
well, that texter's getting some hate to me. He says everyone likes it. I can't stand. It's Tom A. Says the texter.
Does it say that? I don't see that one.
Everyone
must not be updated yet. Either you just made it up.
No,
you had to make yourself the center of attention as usual.
No, they texted it.
Someone's Walker from Roswell can't stand AOC. Well, I don't think people in her own party can stand her most of the time. That's why she's part of the squad. Lots of good answers coming up. Of course, you can answer on Facebook, too, if you'd like to. Question of the day is up on Facebook. You can answer there as well. 877-396-W105. Hey, don't forget, our buddy Rebecca Long has got her At Last lighted mirror and grooming tool available to you. And let me tell you, if you haven't checked this guy out, I had a gal hit me up on the text line asking about what mirror we always sell on Being the Breakfast Club. And this thing is very impressive. And ladies, if you're one who's struggling to get the right lighting to put on your makeup every morning, don't fight it. Just get one of these and you won't ever have to worry about that again. And you can take it with you wherever you go. Or you can do like I do and mount it on the wall, and then it's right there in your bathroom whenever you use it. I use it every morning, just use it a little while ago, trimming up the goatee. Good to go. 1, 5, and 10 times magnification. That way Tom A can get all the spider hair out of his ears and nose and Although if you see the close up on the camera, he didn't do a very good job. In fact, we can't even get him to shave most days. Bright daylight LED lighting, which he could use the Atlas lighted mirror and grooming tool for that as well, but he doesn't. Black and white plastic diamond finish. It's 4 pounds, standard USB charging cord, and that actually, when you charge this thing, it lasts forever. Those LEDs just last and last and last. That battery is fantastic. Check it out today. It is well worth the money. And Rebecca's got always got some extras and some other things. She got that acrylic stand and some cool makeup bags and things like that you can get as well if you've already got one of the Atlas lighted mirror and grooming tools. You're looking for some other accessories. AtlasMakeupMirror.com is where you can find out more information. AtlasMakeupMirror.com, or give her a call, 631-3189, 575-631-3189. The Atlas lighted mirror and grooming tool, proud sponsor of B in the Breakfast Club. What's going on the text line, Tommy?
Well, it looks like B's trying to call in. I just saw his post come up. I don't know if he's trying to do that or not, but I saw him.
I'm not hearing nothing unless he's trying to call y'all direct and not calling me.
That's because I can't feed that computer back to you. Remember, you don't hear it. We hear it.
Well, but if he's calling me, I should hear him. So you saw his face come up?
Yep, sure did.
All right.
And then it hung up.
We'll see what's going on.
I will try.
On that.
I'll try to add him in the call right now just to see if he answers.
Well, while you're doing that, let me tell everybody, get ready to pay a little bit more if you're trying to buy anything, especially in the housing market. If you're that young person has been working all your life, paying your bills, being sure that you had good credit, paying the due that is done to you. Well, get ready to pay some more, because now the Biden administration pushing forward a bill that would put people with good credit at a higher percentage rate to subsidize high-risk mortgages. So now the people with lower credit, worse scores, worse income scores, will now get a lower rate on their interest. You that's been paying your bills and working and trying to provide for your family and at the same time keeping your credit in line are now going to pay an extra. It's not much, as the Democrats say. It's only 1%. So that's only $40 on a $400,000 home. So let's say you've worked hard your life, you've been successful, you've got a credit score in the 720, 730s. You're going to pay an extra $40 a month, which doesn't sound like much. It's only $480 a year. But now combine that on a 30-year mortgage. You're talking now close right at $14,000 extra on your home you're going to pay. So that person with the 640 credit rating that is probably going to be a risk at being able to get the loan, pay the loan anyway, will get a lower rate. It sounds to me like the repossession market, then reselling the home, when they take it back and they charge the next person with good credit more money on that loan it's already defaulted, plus keep the escrow amount that had been paid on the home for it defaulted. Sounds to me like that's going to put a lot of money in a lot of realtors and a lot of banks' pockets, doesn't it?
I was going to say, the only people that win in this are the realtors and the bankers.
Right.
So that's the latest bill that's been proposed by this administration. And then coming up, we can discuss, let's see, how about Democrats' other bill they're proposing that's going to give LGBTQ migrants special status where they can't be detained at the border, also giving same status to anybody that says they're victims of domestic violence. I think we've got B on the line.
I'm here, man.
Wow, talk about sounding a whole lot better.
Well, I was better. They took off 640 cc's of blood out of my lungs.
640 cc's?
Yeah. Now, the doctor came back today, and she said, but you still have fluid on your lungs. I'm like, why didn't you take it all out at the same time?
Right. What was her answer?
Well, she said, we're going to play it by ear. If nothing than that, after you get out of bed and able to walk, I'm still waiting for somebody to come help me get out of bed. Because the doctor said, don't try with just me and we. Because part of the problem is I'm using the muscles to push myself up. You need somebody to push you from the back, somebody to lift you. And once you start walking, everything will come back into line. It is what he thinks. So, but is that a lot? Will, is that a lot? 640 cc's?
That's one amount. It's 1.35 percentages of a pint. So you had almost a pint and a half of blood in your lung, B.
Damn. So, and then she said, you might still be bleeding in your lungs, and I don't know where that's. I'm like, well, please, don't give me I might. I mean, I am or I'm not. But after they took that blood out, man, I mean, I could breathe so much better, but they're still, my oxygen level is still not above 93%.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have to wear oxygen. I don't have it on right now. They said when I start talking, my oxygen level goes down.
And it drops to what, B?
It drops in the 80-ishes.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's got to be above 90 for sure.
Yeah, it's not above 90 without oxygen. So they said eventually that will affect your heart.
Well, it can, but as long as you're on oxygen, you'll be fine. But I would say probably because of the broken ribs, you're not able to take a deep breath, I would imagine still. So I would imagine that has a lot to do with why you're not able to get enough oxygen.
Like I just took a breath and took my oxygen in. So but you know, other than that, as soon as I can get out of bed and that, I'm going home. Hoping to be home by Friday.
That's amazing.
We're definitely going to continue the prayers and hope that you're able to do that for sure.
I know the wife's ready to go home.
Right.
Thank God. So I think tomorrow I'll take my last antibiotic. So, and after that they can take the IV out, which will help because I'm down to one arm because of the way they put the damn IV. But what the hell is going on? We got Sleepy Joe not even having the cojones to make his announcement in front of the people, in front of his constituents. What, were they afraid they couldn't find anybody to go to a damn rally? I mean, serious. I mean, and so they do this bogus first time ever. I'm going to run in a damn commercial that played in the middle of the damn night. And then Don Lemon gets fired, the untouchable. Don Lemon that misses his cue during the New Year's Eve festivities while dancing and kissing with his boyfriend and drinking alcohol. and he finally gets fired. Wow. And then Tucker Carlson gets fired.
Well, Dan Bongino left Fox. Tucker Carlson left Fox. So it's there's just all kinds of shakeups with the mainstream media right now.
Well, I think the Tucker Carlson thing, I think that was part of the deal with Dominion. I think that was part of the deal. I
think you're going to find out that that's probably right. But you would have thought that they would have given. But I don't think they made it very apparent to him until after the fact because they didn't really allow him to do a final show.
Well, and I mean, a lot of folks are saying good for him. He's going to be able to make $100 million a year easy on his own, and so we'll see. He's got to set out a non-compete though.
Does he? Well, I know Glenn Beck's already offered him a job. I'm sure Daily Wire will be there if they haven't already. So I'm sure one of these conservative outlets are gonna offer him something else. Like I said, the Blaze has already offered him a job.
So I'm sure he'll make a lot of money. Now he already owns, what is it, the Daily Beast or the Daily? I know it's one of those. He started a online newspaper back in the day. He's got a partner. So, but I mean, Tucker will survive. Dan Bongino said he left because they wanted, his deal with them was, I'm going to do what I want to do. And they kind of came in and said, no, everything has to go before, the board, before you talk about it. No, I ain't going to do it. So, but he said they did give him a chance to do his final goodbye. I saw that on the internet today.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's interesting times. I think the new wake of the media is going to be online. And so I don't think that's going to hurt either one of them at all. So, hoping. But I was just checking to see if America was still there because, I mean, Joe Biden saying he's going to run again. And based on what platform? I mean, what the hell have you done?
Well, this will be the second best campaign from a basement that we've ever had.
Right.
I mean, if you can't even put together a rally to say I'm running again, and then I heard something also, and I need to dig into this, but with one arm it's hard to type. It's that they really don't want any other delegates running against them, which I think that's BS. So that's kind of like communism.
I'm surprised they're allowing him to run again. I honestly, I would have laid money, and I'm still not convinced that by the time we get to election time that they haven't conveniently, allowed some of this information to come out and maybe let him get impeached, or he mysteriously all of a sudden steps down because of health issues.
Yeah, maybe. We can only hope, but crazy world we live in. But yeah, I haven't remember when I was on the air last time I said, they're putting in my pain medicine. That's the last pain medicine I've taken. I just came to the point where I said, I'm not going to take any more pain medicine. When I leave this hospital, they're not going to let me have pain medicine. So
what were they giving you?
Dude, they were giving me this last one they were going to give me, and the wife said is like $300 per time that they gave it to me. And I can't, she's sleeping, I'd ask her. I can't think of the name of it, but it's man, they give me tramadol and some other stuff, but this one was, man, it would knock you on your butt. But I just said, and because it making me have nightmares too.
Oh, God.
I mean, over and over, I kept seeing like Tom, like eating Snickers bars and ice cream and burritos and chips. I mean, is
that a nightmare or is that just a Wednesday?
A Wednesday.
Yeah. I was actually having like satanic stuff in my dreams. I'm just like, and vivid dreams. I mean, stuff that was just, and I would close my eyes and it's like I would see stuff on my eyelids like at a movie theater. I know that sounds weird as hell.
That's happened to me.
Yeah, I told them no more. I'm not going to take any more. And they said, you can't survive without it. Yeah, I can.
I bet
you don't know me.
Right?
So when they stuck that big needle in my, they say it's not going to hurt. Whenever a doctor says something's not going to hurt, the first thing you need to ask them is, have you ever had it done to you? They say no. So, yeah, no anesthesia. Man, it hurt like a son of a gun. I called for Jesus, Mary, Joseph. Wife said I did pretty good, didn't cuss. But, well, I'm running out of juice here as far as my lungs, but I'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, B, take it easy. Yeah, don't push it too hard.
All right.
Good luck with the walk-in, too.
All right.
877-396-W105, be in the Breakfast Club. And checking in with Kevin B from the Philippines. He's from live from the hospital in Cebu City. So he's checking in with us this morning. And lots of
as a broadcaster, I'm so terrible. Did you hear it? This man, he just comes in. First, I just thought this was going to be a quick report.
Right.
That's 2.5 cups of fluid that they pulled off his lungs. Think about that. That's your coffee mug, a great big coffee mug, full all the way to the top, running over.
Of blood?
Of blood off of his lungs. And
apparently left some still there.
And what does he do right after he gives us this report? He rolls into show prep. He rolls into his preparation in the news and what he's seen and
he's been sitting in a hospital bed thinking about all the stuff he wants to talk about. So I knew he had to rip Don Lemon. So that I knew he was gonna do that at some point. So I'm surprised it took him as long as it did. And then of course the Joe Biden campaign announcement on the video. That's another big one. So JR says I need to send BB some good gummies. Well, he can't have them in the Philippines. That's something they won't allow him to have. So they definitely do not have legal marijuana in the Philippines. Hey, so want to give a shout out to another of our sponsors. Of course, they've got something big going on this week, and so we're going to talk about that. But Roadrunner Grill, they're serving breakfast right now. You can go by and get a great breakfast from them. They serve breakfast every day starting at 6 a.m. They're inside the Best Western Pecos Inn in Artesia. It's not just a hotel restaurant, though. They are open to the public, and they're going to be having a very special buffet coming up on Friday, lunch and dinner buffet. So they're going to do a lunch buffet from 11 to 2 and a dinner buffet from 5 to 8. We talk about them doing seafood. Yeah, they're going to do a surf and turf on Friday. So make plans on Friday to have either lunch or dinner at Roadrunner because they're going to have garlic shrimp, fried catfish, fried pollock, fried clams, New York strip, and ribeye plus sides. So that's going to be happening again Friday, 11 to 2 and 5 to 8, $24.95 for the surf and turf buffet at Roadrunner Grill. And their buffets are fantastic, so definitely go by and check that out. Don't forget they've got some great Mexican dishes. They serve other seafood, including alligator, which does alligator technically, is that seafood, I guess? Anyway, yeah, I don't know. What does that qualify as? Not just a hotel restaurant located inside the Best Western Pecos Inn. It is Roadrunner Grill. And don't forget, they do awesome lunches to go for the patch. And if you see the food truck going on outside, sometimes they'll have the food truck rolling. You can grab some food out there for a quick lunch to go. Daily specials, call them at 748-3324, 575-748-3324. And again, don't forget, check out their Surf and Turf Buffet, 11 to 2 and 5 to 8 coming up this Friday at Roadrunner Grill. All right, we got to do our thought for the day, being brought to you by our buddies at Wakefield Oil. Over 35 years serving Southeast New Mexico with quality products and excellent service. They're not just here when the boom is here. They're always here serving Southeast New Mexico and parts of West Texas with delivery of gas and diesel, both on and off road. And don't forget, they've got some great service that can't be beat. You can follow them on Facebook or just go to their website, WakefieldOil.com. Wakefield Oil, proud sponsor of the Thought of the Day.
You know, there's a difference between stupidity and genius. It's that genius has its limits.
And stupidity doesn't.
There you go. That's the thought of the day.
Albert Einstein said
Albert Einstein.
Yes, he would know. So there you go. Thought of the day being brought to you by our friends at Wakefield Oil. And we're going to do Take It Out of the Trash coming up here in just a little bit. So make sure if you want to weigh in on the text line, of course, our question of the day being brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. And the question once again, Mr. Russ?
The question of the day is, I have to change. I've got to punch my button. What does everyone else seem to like that you just cannot stand? And let's just go ahead and rule out Taylor Swift.
Yeah, lots of answers on the text line. Of course, Tom A., you can get to that and find out what else we've got going on. There was people talking about B, talking about Tucker, all kinds of stuff. So go ahead.
Well, there you go. John from Lovington says B doing the show from his hospital bed. He's happy about that, no doubt about it. Hey, Jake says, y'all should offer Tucker Carlson a job. Laugh out loud.
There you go.
The texter. And
I can't afford him.
Right. Papa Top says, Tucker, think about it, guys, is going to be Trump's vice president.
There you go. Trump Carlson ticket.
And another text says, actually, they're reporting that Tucker was forced out by Rupert Murdoch because of the January 6 tapes.
I've seen several different reports. I saw reports that that Murdoch pushed him out because of some religious things. He was apparently had just done a public speech, and he had said a lot of stuff about taking time to pray for our country and this and that. And supposedly by this one report but there's so much speculation, and till I hear it from the horse's mouth or a reliable, credible source, I kind of take all this with a grain of salt, because everybody and their dog has got Tucker or Don Lemon or somebody in their headline for clickbait. And they're trying, there's so much Tucker stuff on my news feed, I can't even tell you.
Actually, there is a lot of backlash coming out after the firing of Don. Y'all call him Lemon, I call him Lemon.
Lemon. I call him Lemon.
Either way.
Don Lemon, I heard somebody at the station there at CNN call him that, and I thought, that's the first time I've heard it pronounced that way. Anyway, they say the network is feeling a great backlash. In fact, they've already received a call from an angry viewer.
For one whole angry viewer.
One.
Look, his co-host can't stand him. The producers are annoyed by him because he's such a diva.
Right.
He makes Tom A look mild as far as his level of diva, which is saying a lot.
Did you see the tape of the argument that he got into on air with Vivek Sabawami or whatever his name is?
One of the reasons that they talked about
that was what a lot of people are claiming, because for one, he was just being stupid in the point that he was trying to make. And then Vivek hit him with, the thing that Democrats run from, like a vampire runs from a cross. Vivek actually threw a fact at him, and then Don Lemon
exploded.
Yeah, he went off and called Vivek a racist. This is an Indian man sitting there, actually on camera, darker than Don. So that helped seal his fate.
Hey, Chip says on the text, check out who just became a majority shareholder of Fox, and then it will make sense. Chip is saying.
It says, check out who is the majority shareholder in Fox. I actually looked that up.
Who was it?
One of the major shareholders is Bill Gates. He could be talking about that. Also, the largest shareholders, Dodge and Cox.
Never heard of it.
And also, I didn't realize it, but BlackRock Corporation just bought in like 3.94%. So, yeah.
We've known that all of the mainstream media on one level or another, we knew that the executives, if you listen to even our radio news, it's got a liberal slant to it half the time. And so even that, and with the exception of the actual different, like Kilmeade and some of those shows in particular that are specifically set with conservatives as a host, everything else is pretty liberal slanted.
Well, and you pointed at something that I had noticed. I didn't know if anybody else had noticed. Fox TV news, Fox radio news almost seem like they're produced by different people. Because just the tone of the voice, the stories they pick, the way the reporters on the radio area phrase things, much more liberal slant than on TV. You agree?
They use the same. Absolutely, yeah. They use the same liberal leading comments and the same. There's certain things. There's reporting the news, and then there's using certain phrases that elicit a response that they want.
Change the whole content. Yep.
Yeah, too many times the mainstream media will say things like, when they say deadly insurrection or things like that, which, I'm sorry, who other than Ashley Babbitt, who died at the insurrection?
It's like a news story. Now, this isn't radio news, but this was on the same website. I won't even say what news site it is because I definitely don't want to bash one we can. Anyway, one news site, the perpetrator was white. One news story, the perpetrator was black. The first news story read, white homeowner shoots black teen who rings his doorbell mistakenly. The other headline says, neighbor stalks and breaks into home and kills and rapes 6-year-old child. In the first story, it was obviously a white man who shot a black teen who survived. The next story was a black neighbor that broke into the white people's home and killed and raped their 6-year-old daughter. There was no mention of race at all in the second story.
And there never will be because the perpetrator was black. If the offender, in this case, with the rapist, was African American, they won't mention it. But if the offender or if the wrongdoer happened to be white, they're going to jump all over it because they're trying to continue with the division. And you're exactly right, Russ. I mean, they point out who's who only when it fits their narrative. Someone on the text line, we're talking about core question of the day. What's something that everybody else likes that you can't stand? And I got to totally disagree with this one. Can't stand melted cheese. Gag. Really?
Oh,
melted
my
cheese.
goodness.
My brother, okay, this is how bad my brother was when we were growing up. He would take a whole plate, a whole paper plate, and do nothing but grated cheese all over it and melt it in the microwave and then eat that.
Just eat the melted cheese.
Melted cheese on a plate. That was it. He is a cheeseaholic.
I can take a tortilla, just throw that Mexican mix cheese in there, fold that over, throw it in the microwave, heat it long enough to melt the cheese, warm the tortilla. I'm good.
Last time I checked, that was called a quesadilla.
Yes, but the world's simplest quesadilla. I mean, there's nothing else in there. So.
You just nuke it. Yeah, I got you. 877-396-W105. Someone says can't stand sweet potatoes. Yeah, I'm not a huge sweet potato fan. It's not that I can't stand them. I'm just not and I can't eat them anymore anyway.
But you know the way B makes them?
Somebody said,
no, don't be wrong. The one brown sugar and the marshmallows and everything else, they're good, but I can't handle it.
I can't believe this text. Somebody said they can't stand Yellowstone. I bet you drink Bud Light. I'm sorry.
You know what? If you don't
I'm just playing.
You don't like it. Someone said the Dallas Cowboys, which that's kind of.
As another Bud Light drinker. My goodness.
I mean, and another one says, cannot stand my boss, says the texter. Okay.
But everybody else likes him?
Yeah, my boss. I can't stand him.
One of my employees.
No, I don't know.
Speaking of employees, and we'll get to this later in what's special about the day.
Yeah.
But today is Professional Assistance Day. So we got to remember to have Mandy send herself flowers.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, Mandy, make a note, please, to send yourself a nice gift.
She will. She'll do it.
That's the true lazy way for a boss, for sure. Hey, I want to give a shout out real quick, and we've got to do Take It Out the Trash, being brought to you by our buddies at Trash Eaters, trash-eaters.com. Of course, reminding you to give and volunteer at the Lovington Animal Shelter. Of course, whatever you're able to spare for them, they can actually help by not only feeding their animals and housing them, but also spaying and neutering them. and getting them off death row and actually transferring them to a non-kill facility. Trash Eaters reminds you to give to the Lovington Animal Shelter, and if you have time to volunteer, that's another great thing you can do. Trash Eaters, proud sponsor of Taking Out the Trash. You can find them online at trash-eaters.com.
Well, I've got to taking out the trash guy today that's already been taken out. Matter of fact, they probably took him to the trash with a broom. But the ISIS K, which is actually ISIS preschool, I looked it up to see what that meant. ISIS K terrorist who directed the August 2021 suicide bombing that killed 13 U.S. service members during the Biden administration's screwed up withdrawal of Afghanistan, also killed, injured another 4 dozen Americans. The bombing actually left 150 civilians dead. We don't realize how big a bomb was set off by this guy, and he actually got another martyr to do it for him. So this is the most cowardly way you could do it. The leader of ISIS-K that pulled that off is dead. He's been killed by the Taliban. We didn't kill him. The Taliban killed him for us. So I'm not going to say they're our allies, but good job. Thank you, Taliban. And thank you for sweeping up and taking out the trash for us. There you go. That's taking out the trash.
Brought to you by our friends at Trash Eaters, 877-396-W105. If you want to weigh in on the text line, Rocket says the only thing better than cheese is more cheese. I agree. Jeffro says, I hate tomatoes. They are the devil.
Tomatoes?
Look, both my boys, hate tomatoes.
I
with
love
a passion.
tomatoes.
Yeah, both my boys can't stand tomatoes. Someone said mushrooms. And someone, dude from Lovington says, I don't like Yellowstone either. It's just Dallas with more cursing.
Okay. Another text.
It is like the redneck novella. I will give you that.
I can't stand when Tom A lies and won't answer the questions when asked, says one of them.
Of course. He finds the one that's about him. Someone said they can't stand cinnamon and pop country. Well, I'm agreeing with the pop country thing.
Yeah, the pop country, what they call Nashville country now, sounds like this.
I mean, it depends on what artist it is, because there are some artists that come out of Nashville, your Chris Stapletons and such that sound good. I can even stomach Jelly Roll.
I like Jelly Roll,
but there's certain. I mean, he's got some good songs, even though he doesn't look the part. But some of these guys, I was not disappointed Florida and Georgia Line broke up. I was just like, man, see ya.
Somebody said they hate wind. Move.
Yeah,
that's right.
Move.
Who came? But the question is, what's something that everybody else likes that you hate? Who likes the wind? I mean, really?
Right, really.
No, nobody. I don't think someone says I can't eat raw onion. The Todd and Carlsbad. Well, no, I can hear you there.
Can't stand
grilled. It's another story.
Can't stand Conway Twitty, but I love classic country.
Not a Conway.
Conway's cool.
Well, I'm kind of the same way. You know, I'm a huge country fan.
Right.
But like I said about rap earlier, if you want information from me, tie me to a chair and play me that old Western style. I'm walking the floor over you and Wabash Cannonball and ooh no.
So you're not a Western or a Western swing fan.
You're true. Yeah, but now see, I love twin fiddle sounds, Jimmy Mata and Jay Cooker and all that, but that's different. That's different. I'm talking specifically that Ernest Tubbs style.
Now you know who I like? What plays that? Oh, Jody Nix.
Jody Nix.
Yeah.
There you go. You know some twin fiddles.
I do. Johnny Rodriguez.
John from Lovington says, I can't stand cauliflower. It looks like little brains.
Yes, it does.
Someone else says, everyone loves Cracker Barrel, and they don't think it's that great. I can take it or leave it. It's not one of those places like, I got to go there. Justin at Cameron's Armory says, beer. Can't stand it, period.
You know, he's right. I watched both shows. I've watched every episode of Sons of Anarchy because I got them after the show was over and I could, just sit and watch them. But they say Yellowstone is Sons of Anarchy on horseback.
Change my mind.
He said, change my mind. Yeah. That's funny.
I don't think I can.
And Robbie Laundry says, I can't stand the stupid people. And hey, guys, how many people can stand Tommy? I don't think nobody can stand me.
I think Robbie was pretty much alluding to that. And then we've had several people. Pumpkin pie, pecans, and Tommy, someone said.
Actually,
so I guess you're so turkey, pumpkin pie, and pecans because Tommy's the turkey. You're not a Thanksgiving fan at all, huh?
You're just an easy target.
Yeah.
But
so we got to do oil prices being brought to you by our buddies at Spinnaker. If you want a great job in the oil field, Spinnaker Oilfield Cementers is hiring for their training programs. If you've ever supervised a frac crew, Spinnaker can teach you to be a cementing supervisor in their SSIT program. If you've ever run a blender, Spinnaker can teach you to run one of their cementing trucks in their cementing equipment operator training program. You must have a Class A CDL and be willing to work long hours. You'll receive an excellent salary and one of the best benefit programs in the industry. They even have housing provided, which is a big deal in this area. Spinnaker is an equal opportunity, drug-free employer. Text Oilfield to 63566 or visit greatoilfieldjobs.com. So go on their web, greatoilfieldjobs.com, or just text Oilfield to 63566. Price of oil being brought to you by Spinnaker Oilfield Cementers.
West Texas Intermediate checks in at $74.55. $80.05 for Brent crude, and the price of natural gas this morning, $2.17.
So that's everything's down, isn't it?
I didn't check prices yesterday, but yeah. They were up a little bit more than they were yesterday. I think yesterday was 71 something. Today it's 74.50 for West Texas Intermediate.
We had another report of an accident, but the gentleman put it on 3 texts, so you had to look back to find it. 62-180 Marathon Road, mile marker 80. So 62-180 and Marathon Road, that is right at mile marker 80. It just says accident. Those are the only details we have on it right now.
I'll check with our source right quick.
Okay. And traffic update being brought to you by our friend Luke Ragsdale, the Ragsdale Law Firm. Find them online at ragsdalelawfirm.com, reminding you, drive safe and get home to your family. And if you are in an accident and need his help, Luke's standing by, ragsdalelawfirm.com. Someone said that I hate baloney.
Oh.
And someone else says I can't stand Tom A. Can't stand Morky and Porky. Someone changed genres on us. They said they can't stand Ed Sheeran. So he's a pop artist. So 877-396-W105 if you want to weigh in. I said, thanks, Russ. Now I got walking the floor over you stuck in my head. Yeah, so I've been humming that one to myself as well. So thanks again. But if you're wanting an affordable, quiet place to park your RV while you're working in and around the Carlsbad area, check out our friends at WWRV. They have 3 RV parks with one goal: to be a quiet place for the working tenants to lay their head. 162 RV sites with 30 and 50 amps available. All units included in the price, or all utilities, are included in the price. They have premier wired internet at each site too, for your gaming and movie streaming. WWRV is pet friendly, well lit, and has plenty of street lights. You can get pricing and contact information by visiting their website, wwrvx3.com. Just type it in, just like I said, wwrvx3.com, or call them at 988-0392, 988-0392 for WWRV, sponsor of Being the Breakfast Club. Make sure, please, any of our sponsors say, hey, I heard about you guys on Being the Breakfast Club. That way they know where they're getting their people coming from. That would be awesome. We always appreciate that. Can't stand Taylor Swift, someone said. Can't stand cold coffee. So not an iced coffee fan, huh?
No, never.
Can't stand my wife's cooking.
And I hate Reese's peanut butter cups, and everyone seems to love them.
That's like sacrilegious. You really? I mean, Tom even named himself after those.
Right.
Right. Tom A. Reese. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why you changed your
I
name.
told my
around.
mother, Mom, they messed up my name, last name, for the first day of school.
I get to do this one. I want to give a big shout out to the Lovington Lady Wildcats for last night's game. Proud of the ladies. They did great.
Wow, they must have. They played Artesia last night in a doubleheader. I'll check the scores here in a minute. There's a big series between those two.
And can't stand McDonald's food.
How about Menudo?
I actually kind of liked their first couple of songs that they put out.
Oh, yeah, that's not. I don't think that's who they meant. That was good though.
And here's the one I don't like because it's insulting my buddy. Can't stand Willie Nelson. I recognize the talent, but the sound just hurts my ear, says the text.
You know, nobody can sing more monotone and off key than Willie. But what I respect Willie for, and I hate his politics, but you have to realize, and if you were, Tom, you're a DJ. Will knows he's a DJ. We see the liner notes on the songs.
Right.
And half of country music is either written by Willie Nelson or Eddie Rabbitt. I mean, just the whole genre of the 80s and 90s was written by Rabbitt and Willie Nelson. It's just so I respect that because there's and all the way back to everybody knows this, but Patsy Cline's classic song "Crazy,"
right?
Actually written by Willie Nelson, who was her guitar player. So
Willie didn't have that ponytail back in the day.
One of the textures that wanted to point out the Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio has turned on Donald Trump in court. Tarrio's defense blamed Trump heavily for inspiring a crowd to enter the Capitol, citing Trump's call to fight like hell on the morning of the 6th. See, I remember him saying, let's all peacefully protest. I don't remember the fight like hell comment.
But by the way, have you noticed that everybody that had anything to do with January the 6th has been prosecuted and questioned and imprisoned, except Ray Epps?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And have you seen the interview with Ray Epps? Or did you guys talk about that yesterday?
No, we didn't.
So he comes out and there's this whole interview, and he basically blames Tucker Carlson for coming after him and said that Tucker wanted to ruin his life. And look, my main thing is with everybody else, our buddy Coy Griffin, who actually never even entered the Capitol,
right,
got held without charges and prosecuted. Ray Epps was one of the ones that was vocally encouraging people to enter the Capitol, break down the barricades, all these different things, and he wasn't prosecuted. He never had a charge. And it's like, why? And yet he's saying that, and the left just, now he's the victim. And he's and now he's, I used to be a supporter of Donald Trump, but not anymore, blah, blah, blah. Well, dude, whatever. Like, any of us believe that crap. We all saw the video, and people, even the people that were around him started saying, Fed, 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 as soon as he started, encouraging people to break down the barriers or go in the Capitol. And yet, he's innocent. He's a victim. And Tucker Carlson and blah, 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 blah. I was like, whatever, dude. Just give us the answers. I mean, even Ted Cruz asked, who is Ray Epps? And the FBI that were there would not answer. And refused to give a credible answer of if this guy was one of their agents or not. And so now he's come out and said, but so why wasn't he charged? Why was he one of the few of everybody, even the other people who didn't enter the Capitol that got charged or held accountable? I mean, people who were just like in a crowd near like our buddy Coy. it's just insane that they're gonna make this guy into a victim. And I think a lot of people, there were a lot of people that actually went into the Capitol, that were ushered into the Capitol.
That's
Some of
right.
these old women that were just walking through like it was a tour, that were more victims than Ray Epps was.
And we have video of him instigating the barricades being torn down. So, of all people to be prosecuted, somebody else.
They would have gone after him first. They went after the QAnon shaman like there was no business, and then we find out that he's escorted, into the place by police officers.
Somebody on the text line says, I can't stand the cutesy Johnny Cash boy named Sue and One Piece at a Time. That song degrades auto assembly workers. So Digger Bill taking it personally this morning. If you want to get into specific songs that I can't stand that are famous in country music, I don't like that Mickey Gilley song.
Which one?
It's All That Matters with Me, the one where he's been with the girl. Basically, I think the working title of that song was, I don't care if you've been ridden more than Seattle Slew, I'm the one that's whipping you now, so it's cool with me. So, and then there's the other song, Coward of the County.
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, you mean the three guys come into your home, molested your wife, and all you did is went into the bar and beat them up? I would have drove my pickup through the bar and got out with a chainsaw. And anyway, I could go on. There's another one that ain't my truck. That guy takes losing a girl better than me, because if that was my situation, the name of that song would be That's Not My Truck Over There on Fire.
One of the texters says, I can't stand, I'm in agreement with this one. They can't stand Will Ferrell. Just doesn't vibe well. Look, he's done a couple things that I thought were fairly funny, and usually it's not any of his movies. I can't stand Will Ferrell movies. I think they're the stupidest ever. But a couple of his parodies and a couple of his comedy bits that he's done have been pretty funny. When he's collaborating with other, like when he's done some stuff with Ryan Reynolds and stuff like that, there's been some funny stuff. But I can't stand his movies.
I don't like them. I don't like the Will Ferrell movies either, but he actually did a thing where he went out and played with several minor league baseball teams and some major league baseball teams. That was a good show. But the biggest bit that he ever caught fire for and got in trouble for was the thing where he's arguing with the 3-year-old that wants her rent. I thought it was hysterical.
How about the movie he was in with Talladega?
Talladega Nights.
Talladega, yeah, there you go.
This is egregious. Cool. Speaking of.
Hey, guys, this text says, Russ, I think he's texting you, buddy. The problem is it's Urban Cowboy all over again, and you're old enough to know what I'm talking about. It's the ones that were here that were country when country wasn't cool. The 4th generation rancher, that the horse, the saddle, and all the tack, everything is quadrupled in price because everybody wants to be a cowboy, and that's the problem with Yellowstone, says the texter. And calm down, Russ, laugh out loud, says one of the texters.
Can't stand child abusers and animal abusers.
Can't stand that.
I don't think that's anything that anybody likes, though, Mama Bear. Because the question of the day is, what's something that other people like that you can't stand? I don't think anybody would stand up for child abusers or animal abusers. They're definitely, But the Will Ferrell thing, probably one of the ones that jives with me. Step Brothers is one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies. I've never watched. I can't stomach them enough to watch. Once they get I wasn't really a big Dumb and Dumber fan because I just don't like that stupid humor. Even though I like Jim Carrey typically.
See, I don't like Jim Carrey. Matter of fact, I really don't like Jim Carrey. I think he's made his career doing a cheap Jerry Lewis impersonation, but that's just me.
Someone said Ray Epps isn't totally innocent here. He's not. He's also not an FBI agent. The DOJ didn't charge him because you need evidence of wrongdoing to charge someone. He never entered the Capitol. InfoWars started this ridiculous conspiracy theory. Look, if you had, what wrongdoing did Coy Griffin do? He prayed on the steps.
Right.
There was nothing that said that was a restricted area. He went up and he used a bullhorn to pray on the steps. Never entered the Capitol. Never set one foot inside. And yet he was held without representation, without being able to call a lawyer, without a phone call. There were a lot of people whose rights were infringed on severely over January 6th. And I don't know the truth about Ray Epps, but there's something funny going on there. That they can crucify everybody else that had anything to do with it, and yet this guy gets off scot-free. And the DOJ didn't charge him of all people, but they charged all these other people without evidence of wrongdoing? Yeah, no.
Can I drop
Not
another
buying
breadcrumb, or let's just say another piece of fish that smells fishy? Go back and look. Remember the video that Nancy Pelosi released right before she left office, and it was showing January the 6th and what was taken from her window. Remember that? When the scene opens of the January 6th going on, the first person on her video standing on top of a scaffold, waving the Donald Trump flag, completely centered like it was set up in the middle of the shot. Ray Epps. Go watch the video.
Oops.
Ray Epps wearing the same, almost like somebody told him, hey, get up there in the middle of the shot and wave this flag.
Francisco out there patrolling the cops again. Boy, that's got to be your pet peeve, huh, Francisco? When somebody passes you, when it's a police car, if it's not 116, really? You had to have paced him to know that they were going that fast. Eddie, oh no, in car 116. I thought you said they were going 116. I was like, how the hell would you know? Do you have no? But that was car 116. Eddie County Sheriff in car 116, speeding again from Roswell to Artesia, not running code, just running late. Hope you're listening. Yeah, bro, I don't know.
And I've got to get to this one because I forgot to say this yesterday. But you have somebody that's willing to help you, Tom A. Mm-hmm. And plus, real Roswell woman says she hates the Cardinals baseball because they're the other woman in my marriage. So, but the other day when B first called in and said he would help you, Roswell woman had texted in, Tom, consider me your new support buddy to help you with your help. I want you to take my number and start thinking about texting and calling me to help you get on track to a new life plan. I am no health expert, but a lifetime support. So Roswell woman will help you out. And
right. That's all I need.
I think it's a pep talk that's coming your way.
All I need is a groupie in my life. I don't think so.
Not a groupie. She said she's married.
Did you just... You are the most rude, uncouth. Anytime anybody offers you any help, we had people cook you meals. Mandy has offered you multiple times to help you with food and with a diet plan and this and that, and you scoff at them and make fun of them and insult them. Dude, and you wonder why I give Tom crap. It's because of that. It's because he is the rudest. Sorry, I have zero patience for that, dude.
I am not
He's trying to help you. Dude, it's not even about being a diva. You're just an a-hole. I mean, really.
Really?
877-396 W105. Real Roswell woman, thank you.
Let me ask you, Will.
What?
How many women have ever offered you something for nothing in return?
Tom A.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
And
I was grateful and said thank you. And I wasn't an a-hole to them. I didn't scoff at it. I didn't thumb my nose at it.
Were they groupies?
And I didn't groupies. You're not popular enough to have an actual groupie, Tommy.
Damn sure
You are a diva, thinking that you have a groupie.
That's not diva. That's delusions of grandeur.
I get paparazzi everywhere I go.
It's not paparazzi.
You don't
that's
get
spies.
Paparazzi. I've never
There's
seen
a difference
anybody
in the definition. Jeez.
They're taking pictures to report back on your bad eating habits because you're such a slacker, because they think they're trying to tell on you.
That's paparazzi.
It's not. Oh my God! There's a big difference between that and paparazzi. You're a goober. All right, Zia Guns, 1907 North Main Street in Roswell, with over 1,000 firearms in stock. They've got handguns, rifles, shotguns, and they'll take the time to find you the right gun. You can trade in and trade up at Zia Guns. Ladies, they encourage you to visit with them too if you'd like to find a great firearm for you that's perfect for you, not too much, not too small. Also, they have non-lethal options. Stop in and talk to their expert staff. Miss Amanda's standing by, ready to help you at Zia Guns, the original Zia Guns in Roswell, 1907 North Main Street, where customer satisfaction is number one. Zia Guns, proud sponsor, longtime sponsor of Be in the Breakfast Club.
We are way behind. We need to get a break in, do Earl Pitts, then we got to come back and get right into national anthem and everything. Who's bringing local news this hour, Will?
Rig Outfitters in the home store located in the Broadmoor Mall with an extensive collection of FR jeans, coveralls, gloves, shirts, and coats. Other oil field gear like hard hats, work boots, steel toe boots, and safety gear. They also have a huge selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and they offer zero down financing. Find out more today. Go in and check out their awesome store. I love going in there and just shopping around because they have such cool stuff at Rig Outfitters and Home Store. And don't forget Scrub Outfitters right next door in the Broadmoor Mall. Largest selection of medical scrubs for 100 miles. If you're in the medical industry, Scrub Outfitters is like a godsend. Healing Hands, Medicure, Peaches, Carhartt, they've got all the major brands of scrubs. In addition to scrubs, they carry shoes, medical equipment, compression socks, stethoscopes, and more. And if you need to special order some scrubs, they will do that for you too and get them shipped right to you. They did that to several of our nurse friends, including Chrissy. So check them out today. Scrub Outfitters and Rig Outfitters, both in the Broadmoor Mall and Hobbs. Proud sponsor of news. Coming right back with more Be in the Breakfast Club on W105.
Local news brought to you by M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump Services in Lovington. Owned, operated, and serving the community for over 30 years. Call 575-390-4446.
Make M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump of Lovington your domestic well specialist. Owner-operated with 30-plus years of experience, specializing in complete water systems for new home construction, domestic well drilling, as well as replacement wells and servicing all makes and models of water systems, including variable speed drive and constant water pressure systems. Call M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump today at 575-390-4446. That's M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump. Hometown quality you can depend on.
MTD Radio News. I'm Joe Miller. City of Hobbs contracted with the company StreetScan in order to assist in the creation of a budgeting tool and assessment of the roads in Hobbs. StreetScan is known for automated continuous roadway health monitoring that preserved team resources and funding. The purpose of the study was to assess the needs of road repairs and prioritize the repairs based on the use levels as well as current conditions on the roads. The roads were scanned by a vehicle equipped with one 2D camera and one 3D camera, collecting the necessary data in only 4 days. The maintenance of these roads is dependent between the state of New Mexico and city of Hobbs. Well, COVID cases rose in Eddy County as a state-mandated public health order issued nearly 3 years ago expired. That, according to the New Mexico Department of Health, Eddy County's COVID positivity rate was 12.40% during the March 28th to April 10 reporting period, and the cases per 100,000 was 6. Eddy County's positivity rate in COVID cases per 100,000 were the highest in southeast New Mexico during the late March to early April period. Cases per 100,000 people and positivity rates were low in Chavez, Chavez, Lincoln, Lee, and Otero counties. An owner of a now-defunct escrow company in Roswell who allegedly took large sums of money from hundreds of clients is set to plead guilty to 2 federal charges in accordance with the charge of a plea agreement. Attorney for the District of New Mexico indicated that Christopher Adam Jensen Tanner will plead guilty to 1 count each of wire fraud and engaging in a monetary transaction in property derived from unlawful activity. Last year, Jensen Tanner, one of former corporate officers and owners of Roswell Escrow Services, pled not guilty to 34 counts of wire fraud. He's accused of committing more than $2 million worth of fraud when he moved funds back and forth between the company's trust accounts. That's what's happening. I'm Joe Miller, MTD Radio News.
You know what makes me sick? You know what makes me so mad? I want to drink a gallon of diesel fuel, light my own wind, and see if explosion won't fly me to Hawaii. The price of gas is all goony crazy again, ain't it? We can't fight high gas prices, but we can try to get around them, and that led me and Dub and Junior Meeker to commence to carpooling. Carpooling is a fancy, politically correct term for making your drive to work even worse somehow. Don't get me wrong, I like the Meeker boys just fine at the bar or at work, but I don't like them that early in my truck. First off, they're gassy. Now, I ain't saying I ain't gassy in the morning, 'cause I am, but mine ain't got that horrible dead possum rotten cheese odor. Mine smells okay, kind of like onion soup and boiled eggs. But that's what I got to deal with. Now my upholstery has a rip in it. They're sitting there gassing on my tore-up upholstery and seeping down into the foam rubber. Plus, Dub says, let's stop for coffee. Let's go to that coffee shop by the highway and get some cups. I said, coffee shop? What? Is a gas station closed or something? I ain't taking my truck to no coffee shop. Seeing my truck in the parking lot of a coffee shop would be like seeing a banjo in a symphony orchestra. They just don't fit. And every day I go to work, people honk at me all the time. Either lovesick women hoping I'll toss them a kiss, or else just big fans of me and my commentating, but I've grown used to that. But W said, no, some of these people are honking at me because I'm cutting them off and running red lights. W is a nice guy, but he's naive when it comes to how a celebrity has to drive. And the worst of all, though, Junior Meeker, he likes to sing along with the radio, and not just sing-along songs like On the Road Again, stuff like that, but all the songs. Last thing in the world I need first thing in the morning is to look over and see Junior Meeker with his 4-day beard, B.O., and bedhead hair, eating a breakfast burrito and singing out loud, man, I feel like a woman. Wake up, America! I might as well get a moped or a third job to pay for the gas so I can get to my other 2. I'm a Pitch American, a gas-guzzling American. Pizza.
This Lovington Wildcat Sports Update being brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services. Do what you say you can do. Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington.
Stone Oilfield Service backs the Lady Cats as they work to build winning teams and seasons while chasing state championships. Stone Oilfield Service with vacuum, winch, and kill trucks, hydrovacs and hot oilers, frac and acid tanks, gas busters, environmental shields, acidizing, and more. Do what you say you can do. Stone Oilfield Service will get the job done right every time. Serving southeastern New Mexico and West Texas, located at 725 Tatum Highway, or contact 575-396-1840.
The Lovington Lady Wildcats softball team will either be the district champions or runner-ups, depending on what happens when they play in Artesia this week for the final district doubleheader between the two. If Lovington wins the double tip, there will be a playoff with the winner crowned district champion. Even so, the Lady Wildcats must bring a playoff mentality for the upcoming state playoffs. The Lady Wildcats got on a roll and made it to the state championship game last year against Gallup. Coach Steve McCraw.
They got a little taste of it last year, and I tell them. But last year, you know, we realized how really tough it was to get to a state championship game. And then I hope we're going to learn from that this year and go in there with the expectation of, you know, it's not going to be easy, so we're going to have to really buckle down and get after it and try to get back to it. See if we can change the outcome this time.
And between the end of the regular season and the playoffs,
get everybody healthy. We've had a few little injuries the last couple of games. You know, work on some fine-tune some things.
This Lovington Sports Update has been brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services. Go Wildcats!
B and the Breakfast Club in the morning, W105.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. And YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Facebook live video feed brought to you by Desert Sand Water Well. Online at desertsandsnm.com.
Any questions?
No.
Be in the Breakfast Club, 877-396-W105. Carlsbad Chevy, of course, proud powered by a sponsor. We appreciate them very much. And, of course, if you want to be a part of the show, you can text in or call in. Unfortunately, I got to part ways for a little bit. I got to go to a doctor's appointment in Lubbock. So I'm going to let the guys take it from here. But we will talk again tomorrow. Actually, don't forget to come see me in Carlsbad this evening. I'm going to be at Planet Fitness from 5 to 7 for a live broadcast. So I'm going to be out there broadcasting for a live broadcast 5 to 7 at Planet Fitness in Carlsbad for their big, they got all kinds of giveaways. Going to have some cool stuff. They're giving away, let's see, I know they've got Black Card memberships. They've got some other cool stuff. Let's see real quick. Grand opening of Planet Fitness in Carlsbad. Meet their staff. Check out the facility. Register to win a TV. They also have a year-long Black Card membership they're going to be giving away. And so come on out. They're going to have some free Planet Fitness merch, free food, too. I'm going to have all the details for you. Again, I'll be out there broadcasting 5 to 7 today. Grand opening celebration of Planet Fitness in Carlsbad. Definitely come out and say hi and see me while I'm broadcasting this evening, 5 to 7 in Carlsbad. And I will talk to you guys out there then. Until then, you guys have a good show, and I will talk to you again tomorrow morning, if nothing else. All right?
Drive safe.
Yeah, drive safe.
What a man, taking off. He's driving all the way from Hobbs to Lubbock. Going to do a medical checkup, and they're going to take off and drive all the way back to Carlsbad.
Yeah, I know.
And do the broadcast this afternoon. You are a man.
That's true.
Well, it's fun. It's radio. It's what we do.
It's radio.
Hopefully see some people out there in Carlsbad at Planet Fitness. So we will talk to y'all then, and y'all have a good morning. And we'll do all this again tomorrow morning too with everybody. So
Thanks, buddy.
Drive safe, bud.
Thank y'all.
And now I've got a bunch of things that we've got to get caught up on. We've got to go to our national anthem. We got to get our Pledge of Allegiance. We got to get caught up with Fox News. And I was going to remind everybody this morning to shop local. Go to the Roswell Livestock Farm Supply for all your home, farm, and garden needs. Clothing, brand names in clothing like Brighton and Bedflew, Carhartt. Also, right now you can get percentages off on women's clothing. It's Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, just a little Western store with a whole lot of style. Going to the text line, the question of the day is, what is something that everyone else likes but you hate? Something everybody else likes but you hate. Apparently not a lot of people like liver, because we have liver as one of the top responses that we've got today. I hate divas. I think this was picking on Tom A. Reese. I have a feeling of it. And also a major wreck on 62-180 and Marathon Road. 62-180 Marathon Road. I believe we reported on this before. Do you have any details on that? But
I did text. So
take caution in that area. We don't have a mile marker, but it says 62-180 and Marathon Road. This traffic update brought to you by Rexdale Law Firm, where if you're looking for an accident lawyer in New Mexico, if you've been involved in a traffic or oil spill accident, you call Luke. That's the man that's received oil spill wrongful death settlements as much as $10 million, $9 million for malpractice, car wrecks, $685,000. This is the person that works for you. Call Luke Ragsdale, 208 5300, 208-5300, Luke Ragsdale Law Firm, 600 North Pennsylvania in Roswell.
And the texter says, Smokey in Arizona. Smokey, you crazy. And I bet Will won't take 4 stops to take a nap from Hobbs to Lubbock or Lubbock to Carlsbad like Tom A. does. Well, if he's sleepy, I hope he does, because I do that all the time. Make sure I'm protecting myself and people on the road, too. So.
There you go. Also, because I've seen you take naps at stop signs, so
I think so.
I would prefer you pull over and get a little...
Yeah, a little nappy poo. Well, like you were talking yesterday, 26 minutes a nap time.
26 minutes of nap time. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to get. That's the perfect NASA nap. But you're not supposed to do it at the stop sign.
Okay. I'll remember that one, Russ Black. And another one said, Diva. This is Clay, by the way. Heck, Tom A's a straight up ASSH.
Yeah, I wasn't going to read all those texts, but you caught some stuff in there, man. That woman trying to help you, and you just dissed her right out. I just told you she's married. You called her a groupie. You insulted her at the same time.
And another texter says, Tom is a bleep, 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 H-O, says the texter. I'm sure Real Roswell Woman is a very nice person.
There you go. Crawfish
and
on
people,
back.
You got to understand. This is radio, man. You know what I'm saying? So.
Did you get high enough up on that ladder? Can you see the edge yet?
Yes, I can.
Okay. You got poo-poo on you. You need to go to All American Cleaners. I'm going to catch up on a couple of these real quick because I wanted to thank All American Cleaners for treating their customers like family. That's why we've got you on W105. Washing pole, 17 pounds, just $16.99. Serving Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, Lovington, Hobbs, Eunice, and Andrews. And you can ask about their text alerts. They'll alert you when your clothes are ready. All American Cleaners, I thank them coming along for B and the Breakfast Club. We're coming up on our national anthem, also our pledge, and we're going to get some people registered for the W105 cash blowout. Give you a chance. Friday, I'll be giving somebody money during my show right around 5 o'clock.
And you got to be really appreciative of what Melissa Holland did. Our
she did. She had turned around this week's winner, donated her $100 back to Kevin B. And that's something we need to get to, too. If you just checked in with us on the show, we visited Kevin B. give his second report to us from the hospital bed this morning, and they pulled basically a cup and a half of blood off of his lungs, and that's the internal bleeding they're dealing with right now. He's still on oxygen, even though did a good portion of the first hour of our show for us this morning, recapping news stories and being Kevin B. And like I said, you heard the radio delivery. Yes. He was doing it. He's actually taking breaths off the oxygen mask and then talking and taking breaths off. The man called in this morning, and he's better. Yeah. He's better. He's jovial. He's on the mend, but still enough that they drew this fluid off his lungs, and they're having to do it again today. And you can tell by his voice, he's dreading that procedure that's upcoming.
Yeah. So prayers thoughts to him still to be.
So he says just as soon as he can get back home, he's hoping that maybe if they can get the bleeding in his lungs under control, he's saying, hopefully I can be out of here by the weekend. Okay. I don't think they're going to let him go home by the weekend, but I told you he'd be back on the show. I predicted he would be on Monday. You watch me and Will have to hose him down to keep him from doing the show the first morning that he's back in his house. You watch us. We'll have to make him not do it. Coming up on our national anthem, our Pledge of Allegiance, and also I wanted to remind everybody that Platinum Auto Service is under new management. Platinum Auto Service, now getting the reputation as one of the top auto services in the area. I had somebody call on my show in just to brag on Platinum Auto Service and the work that they did. Getting customers back on the road is their business. Shorter wait times, faster service for your brakes, tires, AC service, alignments, lifts, leveling kits, from details on bumpers and bumper guards, toolboxes. They do it all, off-road and on-road accessories from a skid plate to winches. Fleet service is always welcome. They do complete diagnostic care. Scheduled maintenance service also offered. Just anything you want done, right down to the seat covers and the floor mats, you can have done at Platinum Auto Services. And they even have financing available. Call the friendly staff. They're open Monday through Friday. In Carlsbad, 689-6900, 689-6900. Platinum Auto Sales. Before we get to the national anthem and the pledge, did you see the new bill that the Democrats are now pushing through? This is actually sponsored by the president. Very seldomly does the administration sponsor the bill. But Democrats now wanting to grant special status at the border for LGBTQ people. If you say you're lesbian, bisexual, gay, transsexual, queer, or other, whatever the or other is, they cannot even detain you at the border. You cannot even be detained. And it expands out now anybody under 18, anybody over 60, anybody pregnant, or anybody says that they're fleeing domestic violence or dangerous atmosphere. How broad a term is that? A dangerous atmosphere? In other words, I don't feel safe at home, so I get to come into America and you can't even stop and detain me. I just walk on through and go do what I want. That's the new bill being pushed by Democrats in Congress. I'll have more details on that going on. And this right on the heels of a whistleblower that's supposed to testify today. Whistleblower to tell the House that the U.S. government is the middleman in a multi-billion-dollar migrant child trafficking operation, being reported by one Intel observer, who they're calling a whistleblower, that once these children are passed into care, they no longer become the responsibility of Border Patrol, and that they become the status of Child Protective Services. And the, my page moved on me, the HHS, Health and Human Services Department. Well, now these children is being funneled out by the Health and Social Services Department. This guy is supposedly testifying that they've got video and evidence of children working overnight shifts at slaughterhouses, factories, restaurants to pay off their debts to smugglers, children being sold into sex trafficking, 16-year-old girl, migrant that they pulled out of one of the strip clubs in Houston that was working. She says she's trying to pay back the people that got her here. And this is a bunch of testifying that's supposed to happen today. But Democrats doing all they can to try to make it easier for people to step across the border. All you got to do is show up in pumps now. So I expect a bunch of guys to be showing up at the pumps and border. That's some of the stories going on from Fox. Text lines are open, 877-396-9105, 877-396-W105. Big John says, so everyone coming across the border will be gay. That's exactly right. All you got to do, you don't have to be, you don't even have to prove it. You're not going to have to perform any acts. But I understand what you're saying. You need me to get something, don't you?
Yeah, let's go get the national anthem and
the Pledge of Allegiance coming up, and then we'll get an update with Fox News. We'll try to qualify some people to win some money in the W105 cash blowout. Your Pledge of Allegiance national anthem brought to you by Rebecca Long. This is a cut above insurance agent who started her business at 19 years old and spent the last 40 years helping people and protecting your home, auto, boats, RVs, commercial life insurance. Rebecca does specialty insurance policies and the research to get it done like she helped us. She'd never insured transmitters and towers before. She did the research to find out how to protect us and actually increase our coverage and decrease our liabilities and our cost at the same time. That's the way she's been helping people for 40 years. Go by and see her at 226 West Vega and Hobbs, or give her a call, because Rebecca, it's Farmers Insurance. She can customize and bundle coverage options. Talk to her, and she'll show you how to have the best coverage at the least money. 393-2661, 393-2661. Rebecca Long. So you can decide if your coverage is ready. Just give her a call. That number again, 393-2661, Rebecca Long. And she brings you the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem on W105.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
El Charro de Oro, Sebastián de la Cruz.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose brown stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
God bless America. And now your Lord's Prayer, brought to you by Judah Oil, where they'd like to remind everybody to remain positive during these times and always keep your family first and focus on things that you have control over and know that God is always in control.
From Psalms 10. But you, O God, do see trouble and grief. You consider it to take it into your hand. The victim commits himself to you, and you are the helper of the fatherless.
Hello, I'm here with my wife Dixie, and I'm Blaze Campanella with Judah Oil. We pray that as you go through your day, that you will see all the blessings you've been given. God said that He will prosper you and not harm you. See, in a world that is lost, God is there. Yes, in the most empty place, your most fearful circumstance, God is there. He will never leave you. Never forget, Jesus loves you. He really, really does. Please take a moment and pray the Lord's Prayer with us. God bless you. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. And that is your Lord's Prayer. It's brought to you by Judah Oil. About 20 minutes in front of the hour of 8 o'clock. Fox News up ahead. We're going to get you registered to win in the W105 cash blowout. Still got to cover what's special about the day. Get to the tweet of the day. A lot still coming up on Being the Breakfast Club. Hit the text line one time before we get out of here and into news, Tom. I'm sorry, my fault. Go ahead.
The border thing is happening because the three-letter agencies, the FBI and others, including the Biden administration, and agencies that are supposed to take care of the kids, are running the child trafficking. The so-called good guys are actually the bad guys, says the texter.
And then it says all these guys coming across the border spreading all these diseases. And it says Republicans are the majority in the House. So if the bill passes, remember the ones that voted for it. And that would be a good thing to do, because if this border ruling passes, then we've got some rhinos in the House that, they're in on it together.
And this one's kind of funny. He says, come on, Rush. Yeah, flip-flopping as usual. First you said 2 cups on B. Now it's down to 1.5 cups.
No, I said, didn't I say 2.5 cups?
I don't remember.
If I did, I misspoke. But yes, it's 2.5 cups. It's 1.3 pints, 630 some odd cc's.
Right.
So I did that just quick conversion on the deal, and I think it said 2.5 cups. And if I said 1.5 cups, then I misspoke. But 2.5 cups of fluid off of his lungs, 600 and something cc's.
Ooh.
That's one of them great old big horse needles, about 3/4 full. Yeah. Okay.
I'm over it.
You better now?
Yes.
So text lines are open, 877-396-9105, 877-396-W105. And news this hour brought to you, check your fuel gauge quickly. If you're running low on fuel on 128 between Jow and Carlsbad, check out the brand new Twin Wells fuel station, 2.75 miles south on 128 on Buck Jackson Road. Twin Wells Fuel Station. It's open to the public. And this is a large, nicely built station with plenty of cover. And they sell unleaded green diesel, red diesel, DEF. Twin Wells Fuel Station. They accept all major credit cards and fleet cards. Don't sweat it and get into the next town. Just fill up at 128 on Buck Jackson Road, right in between Jow and Carlsbad. The new Twin Wells Fuel Station. And they bring you news this hour on 105. We'll be right back.
Rig Outfitters and Home Store in Hobbs presents the W105 Cash Blowout.
Call now.
Call 877-396-W105 now. Be one of the first 5 people to call in for your chance to win $105. The W105 Cash Blowout.
I want my money.
I want it now.
Call in now to win. Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Now dead, the mastermind of a suicide bombing in Afghanistan as American troops withdrew and the Taliban took over.
The Pentagon saying in a statement, quote, the Department of Defense can confirm that the senior ISIS-K plotter responsible for planning the August 26, 2021 attack on Abbey Gate, which killed 13 U.S. service members, was killed in Afghanistan by the Taliban in early April. The United States was not involved in this operation.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. President Biden hosts the president of South Korea today at the White House.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's visit will include summit talks and a state dinner. The first state visit to the U.S. by a South Korean leader since 2011 and marks the 70th anniversary of the alliance between the two countries.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. House Republicans meet again behind closed doors this morning trying to finalize their bill to raise the nation's debt limit and cut spending. It's been altered to get more votes. America's listening to Fox News.
Get ready as 505 Productions is back this weekend with their huge gun and knife show. In fact, the largest 505 has ever had in Hobbs at the Lee County Event Center. This Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10
$5 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
Don't miss the Ugly Boot Sale now through April 30th at Workin' Guys. Buy 3 pairs for $99. Thousands to choose from with new styles arriving every week. Who cares if they're ugly? You're just going to get them dirty anyway. And we now carry Wonder Week and Carhartt scrubs and shoes for the medical field. Hurry! The Ugly Boot Sale ends 4:30 at Workin' Guys. Open 7 days a week at 109 East Broadway, Hobbs.
Get to the Working Guy store.
This is Davis Smith, the Gorilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
It's time for the annual membership meeting for Lee County Electric Cooperative. Join them Friday, April 28th during regular business hours in Lovington and Tatum, New Mexico, as well as Plains, Texas. You'll receive your registration gift, vote, and get entered for the grand prize of $2,500 from Lee County Electric. Lovington will host a drive-thru event, while Tatum and Plains will have their lobbies open for registration. For faster registration, find a personalized registration card in the back of the April Enchantment magazine. Lee County Electric, owned by those we serve.
Reading Under the Lights is happening Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium. There'll be free food, books, and other fun activities for the kids to enjoy. Bring out the whole family. Reading stations featuring Hobbs Fire, Police, Lee County Sheriffs, and NMJC basketball from 5 to 6 p.m. Then from 6 to 7, reading and special guest speaker, 2017 Super Bowl champion and children's book author Malcolm Mitchell, and book signing with an autograph session from 7 to 8. Come out and support the first ever Reading Under the Lights, Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium at 5 p.m. Brought to you by the United Way of Lee County, Hobbs Municipal Schools, and the J.F. Maddox Foundation.
Did you know that when you become employed with Eddy County, you'll be receiving one of the best and most competitive benefits packages in southeast New Mexico? Eddy County offers great pay, paid vacation, paid sick leave, and holiday pay. In addition, you get para-retirement, and for full-time employees, 100% health insurance paid and 60% for your dependents. You can find a list of open positions and apply at New Mexico Workforce Connection or online at eddycounty.org. Eddy County is an equal opportunity employer.
As a single mom, it means a lot to me to have a strong banking relationship. With the cost of living as it is, I have to make the most of every dollar I make.
Every member has different wants and needs. That's the basis of relationship-based personal service. A strong credit union is built on strong relationships. Estacado Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a number. You're a member. Federally insured by NCUA.
That is the sound of your company logo getting printed on 500 shirts. Smart move. And an even smarter move in choosing the experts.
Awesome Graphics, serving Southeast New Mexico and West Texas for 15 years, can not only brand your t-shirts, they can embroider your polos, hats, and jackets. They can print your signs and stickers, large and small. They can handle vinyl graphics for your vehicle. Are the windows in your business too plain? Awesome can print custom decals that allow you to see out, but your customers just see your logo. In fact, Awesome Graphics can put your logo on practically every promotional item under the sun, from coffee cups and water bottles to keychains and sun visors for your company vehicles. Want authentic Yeti Ramblers, mugs, or tumblers customized with your company logo? Awesome Graphics is ready. Stop by 523 West Sanger and Hobbs for ideas, or simply visit myawesomegraphics.com. Trust Awesome Graphics and rest assured, whatever they printed on, your logo will look awesome.
Now open to the public. Space Jump. Space Jump is a state-of-the-art indoor trampoline park in Hobbs, New Mexico, offering a zip line, ninja obstacle course, dodgeball, basketball, climbing wall, jousting, and a large open jump area, 3 party rooms, and a full cafe. Space Jump offers something for every age, with glow-in-the-dark jump times on the weekends for teens and toddler jump times during the weekdays. Open now to the public. Space Jump. Experience high-octane fun and unforgettable memories at Space Jump. 3314 North Grimes and Hobbs. Visit spacejumpusa.com for more info.
Tell you what, easy to swear at you.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet, and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. And YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Facebook live video feed brought to you by Desert Sand Water Well. Online at desertsandsnm.com.
Are you guys having fun? B and the Breakfast Club in the morning. W105. Thank God.
Good morning. You're on B and the Breakfast Club. About 10 minutes in front of the hour of 8 o'clock. Tom A. Reese, did you get a lot of people signed up?
Boy, did I ever. I mean, we got Dylan and Billy and also Jonathan and Charlie. Lily got on there, too, and Nicholas. So congratulations to them. All qualified to win $105 on Friday. It's the W105 Cash Blowout. And congratulations. Good luck to you. More qualifying throughout the week, too, Russ.
And then I signed up 12 people of my own, so we have a lot of people in the drawing. We still have the rest of today and the next 2 days to get registered, so somebody's going to win some money. Coming up also, we've got this day. We'll recap that in your tweet of the day coming out. And a quick reminder this morning, don't go camping without them. It's Main Trailer Sales. Serving all Southeast New Mexico, the largest inventory of new and pre-owned RVs, including Keystone and Cougar, Montana. Fifth Wheels, Toy Haulers, Ultimate Trailers. If you're working the patch and living in a motel, you need to put that per diem to work for you. Main Trailer Sales been serving New Mexico for 65 years. Check them out on their website, maintrailersalesinc.com, or call 622-1751. Their customer service is guaranteed. Don't go camping without them. Text lines are open at 877-396-W105.
You know, if Tom ever makes that noise again, Russ, please reach over and slap the goofy out of him.
I can't reach him from here. I may have already done that.
Sorry. And so Russ, so you're saying everyone coming across the border will be gay?
Yes, that's the second one we've had like that. That's going to be the point. All you've got to do is say you're either feel in danger or gay, or I guess you could walk up as a guy and say you feel like you're on your monthly, and they'll escort you right on through. So,
wow, that's strong right there, buddy.
And also, one of the big stories, speaking of LGBTQ, newsflash now, two-time Olympian Mara Yakamuchi, who became famous a couple of years ago by winning two big marathons in the same year in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, now coming out bashing trans athletes after a man won one of the biggest races in marathon running as a female. Now, here's the deal. 2 years ago, he finished 17th in the Boston Marathon running as a man. And then he started getting slower, and the next time he run the Boston Marathon last year as a man, he come in 30th. But this year, he put on a wig and a bra and celebrated like his 33rd day of womanhood and won the women's section of the biggest marathon ever held in China. So now the running community of the world now coming out against trans athletes. And this morning, Leah Thomas in a news interview makes statements that there's absolutely no advantage that she has or other trans athletes have over properly trained women athletes.
You're a dude.
Yeah, you don't have any advantage. That's why you won the race by 30 seconds. You know, you'd already exited the pool and dried off where second place got there.
Right on. Yeah.
You have no advantages at all. So
I'm still surprised that the real girls haven't really caused a stir on this deal, Russ.
Well, they're trying to speak out, some of the female athletes, but they're being quickly shouted down by.
No, that's like a transgender wanting to compete against the men, right?
Have you heard any stories about the transgender women wanting to try to compete in men's sports?
Might as well.
Heard any transgender men going out for the Cowboys?
It'll happen. We had 2 years ago. They had a gay player.
Be careful.
They had a gay player who tried out for the Cowboys. Didn't make it. He was. I don't know if you remember the story, Russ, that ESPN was running a huge story on him because he was about to be drafted into the NFL, right?
Yes.
And he was drafted,
and then, like when he was drafted, he actually kissed his boyfriend there on camera at the NFL draft.
That's right, live on TV.
Yeah, and that's where Jerry Jones went. Nah, take it back.
Well, he actually got to try out for the Cowboys.
Well, they definitely didn't want this guy kneeling at the national anthem.
Right.
Okay, going on about also, I've got a story coming up later that the Biden administration, and this act is being heralded by Pete Buttigieg. He's the one that's claiming responsibility for coming up with it, but I'll just give you a clue. The fossil fuel industry just took another big hit, and they're doing everything they can to be sure that they rule out fossil fuel. I've got that story coming up, but first I wanted to get to what's special about the day. All about your day today. What is today? I lost track. April the 26th.
Mm-hmm.
All about today. Brought to you by Train It New Mexico. Get your CDL in a week. 96% pass rate. They've got 25 years of training and staff development, and they believe the best way to get ahead is through quality training. You're going to get more hours behind the wheel, more time, personalized time with the instructors, and they teach not only your DOT certification, but also OSHA, hazardous material, welding, almost all facets of your oil field. And they teach you how to pass the CDL inspection, skill testing, and full driving testing. They also show you and your test how to get ready for your commercial driving license career. Based in Roswell, call and schedule your CDL hotshot or bus training, 840-9555, 840-9555. Train It New Mexico, and they're telling you all about today. It was 416 years ago, 1607, Captain John Smith landed at Cape Henry, Virginia, to establish the first permanent English settlement in America, and that's where he fell in love with Indian Princess Pocahontas. And it was 158 years ago, 1865, Abraham Lincoln's assassin, John Wilkes Booth, was killed by federal troops near Port Royal, Virginia, 50 miles south of Washington. The spot where he died is now U.S. Highway 301.
Wow.
There's not a lot of commemoration for him there. Arnold Schwarzenegger married Maria Shriver. And they hired that wonderful nanny for a live-in happy helper about 37 years ago.
She was happy.
He made sure of it. 34 years ago, we lost legendary Lucille Ball, died at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center at the age of 77 on this date. One of the sad notes to go along with it. It was just 17 years ago, country singer Kelly Pickler come in second on American Idol. Remember, everybody thinks she won. She didn't. She come in second. She was eliminated on this date 17 years ago. And also...
Yeah. But you know, Russ... She won. She won the Dancing with the Stars competition.
Well, very good. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that tidbit. Also, today is Administrative Professionals Day. And like I said, we've got to remind Mandy to send herself some flowers, get herself a nice gift or something. That's our office manager.
And have
the brains of the outfit.
Yeah, have us sign the card, you know.
There you go. I'm great, Mandy. Happy birthday also to former First Lady Melania Trump. She's 53 years old.
Is she really?
Doesn't she look good for 53 years old? I mean,
who is it? Who is it? Melania Trump?
Yeah, Donald Trump's wife.
Oh, Marlena.
Yeah, you know, she speaks 5 languages.
I know it. And I wonder how many of them she cusses Donald Trump out in.
You know, Jill Biden only speaks 1. It's one too many. So,
right.
But anyway, they Donald Trump married Melania 18 years ago, and they're still hot and heavy and in love. She's hot and he's heavy. So there you go. That's this day in history, and it's brought to you by Train It New Mexico. Text lines are open, 877-396-9105. What do you got going on?
All right,
Tom
so
A.
this is news out of Roswell this morning, and it seems like we used to call him Little Timmy Fuller because he used to go to the ball games with me and he keeps stats. Anyway, he announced on Monday that he's going to be running for that District 58 state legislature seat. You're thinking, wait a minute, doesn't Candy Spencer still hold that seat? Yes, she does, but she gave it up to run for Cliff Pirtle's seat. So he's going to run for that seat. He's currently a teacher with the Roswell Independent School District and District 58. He said he's been thinking this for a while. He's actually been in politics for a while too, Russ. His dad is Tim Fuller, the school teacher there at Roswell, and also Cindy Fuller is the county clerk for Travis County. So he's kind of been involved in that and decided, I'm going to run. Way to go.
So we've got another Republican running for a good spot. Also, text lines are open, and your question of the day, what does everyone else seem to like that you can't stand? It's got to be something that everybody else likes, but you can't stand. And there's a big kick right now for us. Anyway, so what does everyone else seem to like that you just hate? That's your question of the day. Text us 877-396-9105. You got the text line.
Oh, Toby says chicken. I hate chicken. Says
Really?
Toby, right. And another texter says, you know what? I cannot stand artichoke, says the texter. You ever had it? I've never had artichoke. Russ?
If I have, I don't remember it.
Yeah. And another one says cucumbers, Gatorade, and pickles, says the texter. And everybody loves me, and I do not, says one of the texter. Another one says, boy, I hate that people wear other person's clothes, he says. Or I hate that people wear clothes. That's nudist.
That's
okay.
nudist.
That makes sense.
I knew who that was before you said it.
Yeah.
So.
And root beer, I can't stand it, says one of the texters.
Oh, I hate those ugly Croc shoes.
Oh.
I'm the same way. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. You got Crocs with it. The only time that Crocs look cute is one of the guests that we had in here that from the hospital, wasn't Chrissy, but one of the other nurses, and she had sweat. She was wearing her scrubs, and they had little designs on them,
right,
and like camouflage scrubs, and it went down into the shoes that matched, and they were Crocs. That was a cute outfit. But that's the only time I've seen Crocs where they didn't look stupid. Fried pickles and Joe Biden. Ooh. See, I don't like fried pickles, but I love fried green tomatoes.
Right.
I went to the place that serves those this weekend and had too many of them.
And
the Cowboys. Hate the Cowboys? Communist. Anyway, I'm just... So text lines are open. I have been speaking earlier about, and I'm coming up on our tweet of the day too, but a huge hit has taken place to the fossil fuel industry. U.S. Department of DOT have filed a ruling, and now another bill being pushed and action being pushed by the administration. This will be done with Joe Biden's pen. They had set up the transportation, Trump had set up the transportation system by pipeline that would move clean, natural burning, liquefied natural gas from Pennsylvania to Gibbstown, New Jersey, first by pipeline. Then Joe Biden come in and immediately signed down all this pipeline. So National Transportation Department had worked out with the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration a plan to transport this liquid natural gas to New Jersey, from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, via railroad, where then it could be shipped out and we could sell our clean burning natural gas, that would replace that nasty oil in other countries.
Right.
So, in an action to keep us from transporting that nice, clean burning liquefied natural gas that would be sold and help global warming and climate change, if that's your fear, across the world, the Biden administration has come up with a smart idea with the help of the guy that clicked off all the blocks, head of transportation, Pete Buttigieg, to now stop that action and outlaw the transportation of this liquid petroleum gas across the country. So now here's a couple of problems. What do we do with all this liquid natural gas that we've got now in Pennsylvania, and they've made it illegal to transfer it out by rail or by pipeline? We're going to try to do this in trucks.
Wow.
And also, and it's being heralded by, of course, global activists. And this administration is a huge step in protecting us from the spawn of fossil fuels.
Oh, yeah. Telling you. Another text says, can't stand Tom A. lying all the time, but I do like his sportscasting of high school games, says the texter. And news coming out of Lovington this morning, Russ, the city council of Lovington announced, David Trujillo announced this morning to me, that a new shopping center is coming to town. It'll be located just outside of town near the Norley Hospital, and in it will be a restaurant and also a United Markets grocery store. So that announcement coming out from the city of Lovington this morning.
And that announcement come via who? We credit with that?
David Trujillo, when I spoke with him this morning.
So you spoke directly with the mayor. So we could have another grocery store in the Lovington area very soon.
I expect about 2 years for construction to finish, so we'll see what happens. I hate Carlsbad traffic, says one of the texters. I've been to Carlsbad. I mean, I guess on rush hour it could be kind of difficult, but I guess it's okay. You been there in rush hour?
Carlsbad traffic during especially school rush, like right now, a person texted in probably trying to get through the school rush. Yes.
Yeah.
All towns at this time of the morning when we're trying to get our kids to and from school is a hassle. I hate the traffic everywhere. But who likes it? The question of the day was, what does everybody like but you hate? I don't think anybody likes traffic.
Tea or sweet tea? I hate tea, says one of the texters.
Really?
Yeah.
How could you hate sweet tea?
I drink the non-sweet tea. Kind of got used to it, but, with a lemon in it, so it's okay.
Non-sweet tea. You drink the tea without sugar.
Right.
You're lying. I know you're lying.
For real, I do.
Coming up on our tweet of the day, 9 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. And also, if you just joined the show, quick update on B. He's doing much better. Had to call in with the show today. They drained fluid off of his lungs, large amount of it, over 600 cc's, which is like 2.5 cups, something like that. And they're trying to get the bleeding under control. But other than that, he sounded so much better this morning he did, and ended up, I know he's feeling better because he started doing news stories and updating on some of what was going on and picking on Let's Go Brandon. So I know he's better. I know he's got to be better. So
right. Hey, well, you remember? Russ, I talked about the story about the U.S. Forest Service having to kill that one wolf.
Yes.
Him and his family were just attacking a lot of livestock and killing it. Well, today there's a bill coming out of Washington, D.C., and by Gabe Vasquez. Now, he is the District 2 representative who won the election over Yvette Herrell back in November. He announced today that he is going to submit a bill called the Wolf Act Bill. Now, this bill would reimburse cattle owners or ranchers money in full for the cattle that these wolves have killed.
So the state's going to refund the money for the cattle killed by the wolves.
The U.S.
The U.S. government.
Yeah.
To keep us from killing the wolves. That's what that's for.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what that is for.
So I don't know whether he co-sponsored the bill with someone else. Don't know if it's going to go through, but, it's political, of course. But, yeah, decided to go with that bill yesterday.
So that should be in action of the courts very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
Well, you got to pass it first, but, yeah.
I'm trying to look something up right now because we're getting ready for our tweet of the day. That's what I was looking for, was that right there. Your tweet of the day is brought to you by Hobbs Motorsports Park, where you need to mark on your calendars. The godfather of street racing is coming back. Limpy is going to be at Hobbs Motorsports Park. Mark it down, May the 12th. Test and Tune will be held in Limpy. And crews that you've watched, the guys you've watched on TV, are going to be at that event. Also, May the 13th, back half racing. Small tire, 300 buy-in, true street, daily drivers going to be run, even tailgate, $150 buy-in for that run. What you brung buy-in also available. Limpy, the godfather of street racing, coming back to the Hobbs Motorsports Park, Hobbs Airfield Speedway. And also this week, Saturday, April the 29th, gates are opening at 12 p.m. Races will start at 1 p.m., run till around 6, $30 tech cars, $15 for spectators. Kids 12 and under get in free. Quarter-mile races. Helmet is required to race. Will be a prep track, so it's going to be sticky and fast. Cash and cards are accepted. And that's all taking place this week at the Hobbs Airfield Speedway.
Well,
I'm used to calling it Hobbs Motorsports Park, which is what it was called for years and years and years. Now, Hobbs Airfield Speedway, which is actually a much better name.
I like that name. What, on that very note, I hope his wife doesn't call him Limpy. Says the doctor.
Okay. And they bring you your tweet of the day. And the tweet of the day comes in response to Jean Pierre, who opened her address yesterday, making comments about a House bill that Republicans have voted down, which has nothing to do with what she said. Jen Spassky's statement was, it's clear that the Speaker's bill, this is a bill that was being introduced by the Republican House Speaker McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy. And he wants his fellow Republicans to plan to cut government spending by raising the debt ceiling limit and to try to get a hand on American spending and get the inflation under control. But somehow Jen Spassky read into that bill, it's clear that the Speaker's bill breaks House Republicans. I don't understand what she meant by that. And it breaks the truths in the comments that they made to America. I think she missed the word pledge is what she was trying to say. To run up to the 2022 election, House Republicans promised to put cops on the beat. Instead, they're fighting to put fentanyl on the street by defunding Border Patrol. This proposal makes clear the only thing House Republicans are committed to are giving Americans increased crime, lower economic growth, and more manufacturing jobs being sent back to China. She caught a little backlash over that.
Bet she did.
Several of the tweets, and one from one of MSNBC's hosts. I don't know who Anderson Miller is, but he shows MSNBC producer, and he quite said, "You've done it. You've won the award, Gaslighter of the Year."
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I thought that was a great tweet, and I agree. Our current press secretary Basically, I don't see how anybody stands up there and says the things she says every day with a straight face. But that's the tweet of the day. You win Gaslighter of the Year to Jen Spassky. There you go. And your tweet of the day brought to you by Hobbs Motorsports Park. Text lines are open 877-396-W105.
Boy, if you ain't crocking, you ain't rocking, says one of the texters. And another one said, hey, you never said what's coming up on the 9 o'clock hour.
During the 9 o'clock hour,
9 o'clock.
We've got the good news of the day and boob of the day. We don't do the extended version anymore.
Except
At
on
9
Friday.
o'clock, that will be on Friday. So you get more of the true extended version of the morning show, because that's what we're doing it. We extend it past 9. Tradio, where you buy, sell, and trade, will start off at 9:30 a.m. By the way, while you're out there in the traffic, avoid the construction congestion between Loving and stop by North Star Fuel for all your fueling needs. Quick highway access, easy in and out. Grab your ice and water before you hit the road. They accept wax, gas cards, TCH, EFS, Fleetstone, all your major credit cards. Located between Carlsbad and Loving, 2519 Pecos Highway. Avoid the construction congestion in Loving and stop by North Star Fuels for all your fueling needs. Quick highway access, easy in and out, and you're there right in between Carlsbad and Lovington, 2519 Pecos Highway. It's North Star Fuel. Thank them for being part of B and the Breakfast Club.
Hey, coming up also on 9 o'clock, Russ, a Roswell young man wins a very prestigious award in the Navy. We'll tell you who he is and what he won. That's coming up in the 9 o'clock.
And a huge alligator in Pennsylvania. You ever heard of alligators in Pennsylvania?
No, I haven't.
It was an 8-foot alligator in a basement. We'll talk about that coming up. And Washington School Board now being called absurd, and I could have used this for taking out the trash today. They're cutting their music curriculum because they say it spawns white supremacy.
Really?
Yes. And a Texas man arrested after holding a teen's mother at gunpoint for sexual favors. Yeah, a bunch of nice people floating around today. And a demonic Florida man whose face is all covered with tattoos. He's had his teeth filed down like a monster. Well, he has been arrested because he dismembered and ate an Uber driver. I think the facial tattoos and the teeth being filed off at points was probably a giveaway that this guy was dangerous. Washington State now brings in a new gun control package where they say nobody needs an AR-15. But then if you read the bill closely, it outlaws automatic, semi-automatic weapons, period.
Of course it does.
So, to tell you the truth, you can define almost anything other than a single action that you have to cock as a semi-automatic, because if you read this bill, basically it says if it will fire every time you pull the trigger, that makes it semi-automatic. Well, a Model 19 Smith & Wesson wheel gun revolver will fire every time I pull the trigger. I don't have to cock it every time. So they've just in lieu outlawed AR-15s, all semi-automatic weapons, and your regular revolver. In Washington State, they just reverted back to single action, cock it before you fire it, what you would call a cowboy-style gun. So that's one of the bills. And wait and see, it's going to be coming to a blue state near you.
Way to go. And this one texter is saying, David Trujillo is not the mayor. Robbie Roberts is mayor. Now, Trujillo is the mayor pro tem, which is correct. But technically, it was right. He's the second in charge when Robbie has got other things to do. So anyway, that wants somebody to correct that. And another texter says, please wish my husband, Matt, a happy 20th anniversary for me. Well, happy anniversary to you guys on 20 years.
Happy
How many are you
anniversary.
going on? 30?
27.
What's in the neighborhood?
27. years together.
You know, for the longest time in my family, I was the longest one that was married. Everybody was getting divorced. My brother Dave after 5 years. My brother Pete after 10 years. And then I was going real smooth. And then she says, you got to go. Okay.
Let's go to the phones. Phone lines are open, 877-396-W105. You're on B in the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hey, Russ, it's Deanne. How are you?
Deanne, you called in. You called in, but you caught the line that makes you sound like a chipmunk if you can hear yourself.
Oh, I can't. I don't.
No, you
don't
can't.
Sound like a chipmunk.
No, I don't want you to do that. Deanne, call me right back. Hang up and call right back. And I'm going to drop that call. You call me right back, Deanne, and I've actually got Mad Dog over on hold, but he's going to understand that I'm waiting for my phone to ring back from Deanne to see if we can get her on a line where we can understand her. Let me put him on hold. Oh, no, I didn't mean to drop you. I meant to hold you. There you are. Well, let's go to Deanne. Now, Mad Dog, you call me back. We'll go to you, and I'll put you on hold, too. I'm sorry, Mad Dog. That was the wrong button. Deanne, are you there?
I'm here. Do I sound like a chipmunk still?
No, you sound good now. Good morning, Deanne Kimbrough.
How you?
How are y'all?
We're good. What are you doing?
Well, going to work, but I was going to tell y'all that shopping center, you need to talk to Evelyn Hogan about it. She's the director for
EDC?
The EDC.
Yeah.
And she made an announcement the other night at the city commission meeting on Monday night, and her and Junior Hernandez, they have been working on this project hard for the last year and a half, 2 years, maybe even 3 years. It was unbelievable what they had to go through to get that shopping center, and not just that shopping center, but that there's all kinds of stuff going on down there. But they had to get the DOT from the state to agree to lower the speed limits down through there.
That is
they had
DOT.
to get. Oh man, they had a fight from day one, but that's who did all that work, and so proud of them, just for looking out for Lovington. And I heard Evelyn say, they're not after Bob's at all. What they truly are trying to get is there's so much. I think they had all these studies done, and the leakage of people who leave Lovington to get things done, the biggest part of it was shopping at Albertsons. So they're not trying to get Bob's Market. They're trying to get the market that's leaving Lovington for Albertsons.
Well, there's enough market. There's enough market with this only having one grocer for another in our area.
Yeah, I think.
And as far as competing with Bob's Thriftway is our hometown grocer. Been here 50 years and always going to be in this area.
Yes.
And the people of this area that shop local know that.
Yes. And that's what, she made that statement, we're going after that 60% of the market, United will be, that leaves Lovington to go shop. So they're bringing in more grocery fees tax. And, we saw when all of the roofs were being done, our GRTs went up through the roof. It was over $1 million, like 3 months in a row, just from the construction. And I think they said the construction alone was like $18 million.
Right.
If I'm getting some of my numbers correct. So it was like $18 million in construction alone for those GRTs. So they did a good job. They worked hard on that.
So, Deanne, what kind of shops are going to be there?
I'm not really sure what all kind of shops will be there. I think it'll be kind of like what's happening at these other shops downtown, that are building in. It'll have to see who wants to come in there.
Well, good.
So,
see,
but it was an interesting city commission meeting, so I just wanted you to hear all that because that was, they really gave a great presentation. Her and Junior Hernandez both. So you need to get Evelyn on there and talk to her. She can give you all the complete details of it. But pretty amazing what's going to happen.
Well, can you give me the scoop on what else is coming into town?
Not me. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not getting in trouble.
Jen.
No way.
Jen, thanks for giving us the update on everything that's going
You bet.
on.
All right.
I appreciate
Okay.
it. And I've got Mad Dog coming up on hold, but first let me get to a couple of texts. It would be called double action. Yeah, I know what it's called. I was trying to explain it to Tom. This is what I was going to show you. You're talking about the difference in a double action, single action. Okay. They're trying to outlaw anything that they think is, basically all guns. What they don't realize, this is a 1911. I just pulled the clip out, turned off the safety, and just dislodged the round.
Oh.
Okay? So, this is a cleared gun. Okay? Click. Now, even though this is an automatic, it's an automatic because the slide moves back and cocks the hammer. If the hammer's down and I pull the trigger, nothing happens. That is a single action weapon. Now, if I cock it back, the hammer falls. So that is a single action weapon. It is only cocked by when the round ejects, the slide pushes the hammer back. But that's still defined as a single action weapon. So that's what I mean. This is how dumb these gun people want to write their laws. They're trying to by different specifics, and they don't even know what they're outlawing or anything about a gun. And anyway, these are some rules and laws that are going to be changing. And like I said, the reason I'm disturbed about this is these are coming to a blue state near you, I promise. Text lines open 877-396-9105. Phone lines are open. Monty Ragsdale on the line. Good morning, Mad Dog.
Hey, good morning. I've just now got on. I hadn't heard anything about what's going on, but has anybody or y'all seen the Hobbs paper where it says New Mexico launches new climate policy bureau? Have y'all talked about that today?
No,
not yet, but I've seen it. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's another opponents, which would probably be Republicans, MAGA.
Right.
Okay. But it says it's a newly formed bureau of unelected officials that the governor has just at her whim decided that they need this new climate policy bureau. Guess where the person that they picked, where she's from, what state she's from?
California?
New York. She's from New
boy.
York. Yeah, she's got all kinds of, climate crap in her background. But of course, and she's a doctorate, she's an expert. And she says, I'm thrilled to take on this critically important task of helping to steer New Mexico's action on climate change. Her name's Finkelstein. Says, I hope I can help in moving those efforts forward with a focus on climate justice. And this is all, everybody knows that the oil and gas industry funds 40% of the state budget each year. But like everything else with Michelle Grisham, she wants to kill it. Now, I just want to know what their plan is once they kill it. What's their plan for all their money that they're using now to throw out into the wind, basically? What's their plan? They don't have a plan. But they dang sure got a plan to destroy oil and gas and energy. And that's our biggest thing. So, man, I don't get liberals.
Apparently, their plan is to destroy the American economy. That's the only thing that I can see.
Yeah, that's what Biden said. He wants to finish the job, and what was that old boy's name up in Michigan, Ron Johnson? He said what? Of destroying our economy? Is that what you want to do?
That could be. That could be the tweet of the day. I think it was Ron Johnson. It basically posed the question, finish the job. You mean completely destroying America?
Yeah. If that many people will vote for John Fetterman in the condition that he's in over Mehmet Oz, boy, that's a scary thought, isn't it? And I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to be very unpopular when I say it, but I don't really care. But, they're always talking about how many millions of people voted for Joe Biden. Over 80 million. Well, I'm going to tell you something. The about half of those that vote for him, they're on welfare. So he's got about a 40 million cushion right off the bat. And, so basically maybe he got 40 million votes. If those people that are on welfare forever, they shouldn't even have the freaking right to vote. If they got a job, then they can vote. They ain't got. If they're always on welfare, they shouldn't have a voice in who's running the country, because it's obvious they're always going to vote for somebody like Biden and Grisham that give everything away.
Well, here's one of the hopeful things that we've got, Monty. It used to, they just had a new national survey and poll that come out. It used to be that Republicans and Democrats were about 33% of the vote, and that independents were about 33% of the vote. Now they're saying that Democrats and Republicans on both sides have cut back to about 27% of the vote. So together, that's only 54. That means we've got about a 46% independent vote right now. And I'll guarantee you these policies and the actions that are taking place by the Democrats right now are moving them farther and farther and farther away from that center independent vote. And I got news for you. They're going after the 4% trans vote, and they're going against 50% of our population. They're fixing to lose the female vote, right, the center vote, and the independent vote. Wait and see.
It's hard to overcome a 40 million head start, though.
It is.
You got all those people that are on welfare with their hand out, and they don't care. All they want is their handout.
Monty,
anyway,
thank you, brother.
Y'all have a good day.
Thanks for ringing in, being Breakfast Club. Well,
we got an interesting text here, kind of on that same thing.
Go ahead.
Because I don't think you can judge everybody by, being on welfare. But hey, guys, can't judge a book by its cover. Now, my husband has face tattoos, and we both have had tats, and numerous others. Goes on to say, and we are good, productive members of the society, and have raised 3 great children.
Well, I was talking about this one guy. You got to see the mug shot. This isn't face tattoos. He's replaced his face with demonic, devil-like tattoos, horns on his head, had the teeth filed thing. And I was talking about this guy specifically.
And another text says, all these green energy and gays need to move to California, and the U.S. needs to cut all oil and gas to that state and let the idiots see how long they can live like that.
Well, that's been my opinion the whole time, is we're building the wall the wrong way. We're building it across the border of Mexico. I wouldn't mind so much if there was no border fence there at all. I want a border that starts at the edge of California and goes straight up to Washington, just straight up, and just take that half of the country away.
Yeah.
We could eliminate, if nothing else, about 75% of our crime rate.
And the Boston Tea Party, says one of the texters, having over 3% rise. I think it's time we stand up and start a civil war, says the texter.
Wagyu burgers. I think that's in reference to something that everybody else likes. If you're talking about the Wagyu burger that's being sold at a chain restaurant that I won't name, but there's a roast beef place that is famous that serves a Wagyu burger. And I tried it too.
And?
Tasted like a hamburger.
Did it?
Tasted like a hamburger. I didn't really dislike it. It was just, I was expecting, because, I paid about $3 extra for it.
Right.
To buy it into something that was going to be spectacular, knock my socks off hamburger. Hamburger. Is it? Little fattier. It was.
Yeah. You still we're a burger town out here.
Man, I'll tell you what. It's hard for anybody to impress me with their burger. I've got a new sponsor that I'm not going to name yet, but I've got one of Lovington's best food places coming to my show. We're just going to be next month. Got a plan. We got a plan, okay? But I'm just going to tell you that probably going to be talking about ponchos and Henny Penny somewhere in the future on the Ride with Russ. So, you know, I've had a Pancho Villa burger, so it's hard for any other hamburger on the planet to impress me.
Wow.
And it comes right out of a little place right here in Lovington that everybody from Lovington knows exactly where I'm talking about.
Well, I just went to some of the restaurants, and I know you got to have a safety health thing, but would not clean out the grills because that taste goes away, especially when you have a hamburger. I don't clean out my air filter.
That's a kind of a fallacy because I've worked in restaurants, and believe me, we brick that grill at night until that thing shines like you're, like a mirror, if you know what you're doing. And the food flavors comes through by what you saute and what you caramelize on the grill as you start your cooking.
I don't know about that. I never bricked my little air filter.
So. And also, 46% independents won't vote for Trump. They'll be stuck with Sleepy Joe. There you go. And also, Russ, a trans man, went into the woman's restroom, started touching a young girl. Her father went in, punched trans in the mouth, causing her to lose teeth. You say it. I'm really tired of these trans people. And us having to decide whether is it male, female, what do you say? If it's male and it turned female, do you say girl? It will cover it, all right? So the man punched it in the mouth, causing it to lose teeth.
Oh.
Cops were called, but it's okay. Father identified as a tooth fairy. So.
A tooth fairy. But so, get him a porta potty. Put it outside.
I got an idea.
What?
I liked what one of our callers said yesterday. Just put XX on one door and XY on the other. Of course, that's going to confuse liberals because they didn't get far enough in school to understand what that means. But we just go by chromosomes. Don't you remember what they did? You mentioned Martina Navratilova yesterday. Do you remember during the 70s controversies about whether it was male or females playing everything where they did the cheek scraping?
I don't remember that, no.
They used to, the tennis committee, whatever body governs tennis, they went to cheek scraping where they take a little scraping from the cells inside the cheek and then you analyze that and it would say whether they had XX chromosomes, XY chromosomes. If you got XX, you played in one division. Got XY, you got another. It doesn't matter what your upholstery looks like or what alterations you've made to your undercarriage.
Right.
Okay? XY tells it all. Okay?
And did that allow Renee Richards to play professional tennis? Remember, he was a doctor who turned into a woman.
Yes. And then that leads me into a news story we had of a trans man that's now being investigated for statements he made on Twitter. He's a big girly boy, and this is a big guy, okay? But it's a big girly boy making threats with Republicans and conservatives, saying if they want to die on that hill, trying to keep him from using the women's bathroom and everything, and then made the statement of, if you push a wild animal into the corner, that animal becomes dangerous.
Sure.
Well, girly boy, you're not dangerous to me. And yes, I will try to keep you from using the bathroom. Come out of the bathroom after Miss Black has been in there and see if we found out. And as far as backing you in the corner, if I back a ferret into the corner, if I back a mouse into the corner and becomes dangerous, he may think he's dangerous, but he ain't dangerous to me. So anyway, some of this stuff is starting to pale against some of the reactions. And that's why I was saying that 46% independent vote, You wait and see where it rings in. Upside Down Land is going to get their up and coming. Coming up 20 minutes in front of the hour of 9 o'clock. President Biden running for re-election and made his official announcement.
Joy.
By video in the middle of the night, not in a national speech, not his way somebody, with NARDS would have done it, but it's when they could get him coherent enough to make the statement. And
nobody was going to attend the announcement. You know that.
Yeah, and they sure didn't want that backdrop of him announcing that he's running. I'm running for re-election, and you get that.
Where's everybody at?
In the back of the hall. But he also, this morning, they're releasing their brand new campaign slogan.
Which is?
It's not my fault.
I could actually run on that one, too.
Also, President Biden's domestic policy advisor, Susan Rice, has made her announcement that she's going to be stepping down. So apparently she wants to spend more time misguiding her family.
I guess so.
So also in your travel and leisure news, the State Department is warning Americans against traveling to the Sudan. Because
I wouldn't go there.
I mean, that really affects me because, damn, there goes my vacation plans to Six Flags over Qatar. So,
what country did you ever go to? Was it Sudan?
No. It's not important. Did you? And also, the World Health Organization is issuing a warning over the fighting in Sudan as Sudanese rebels take over a laboratory that contains several deadly viruses, including the plague, polio, measles, rubella. Basically, some of our most dreaded diseases. And now this laboratory and all these samples are in the hands of the Sudanese rebels. And they're going to have the best precautions and scientific teams of studies there on. So,
yeah. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, but when Biden said he's coming after our children and our children belong to the government, people, you better wake up, says the texter.
That was one of the most disturbing things that I heard on the news was his statement, the nation's children belong to all of us. Like hell.
No way.
Also, text lines are open, 877-396-W105. Go ahead.
All right, so this texter, I guess he was watching on camera. Rush is going to pull that 1911 on that poor little mouse that thinks it's dangerous. Well, yeah.
Hell,
only handle a gun once. I don't want to handle it again. It's called laziness if you don't clean the grill on your air filter, says the texter.
No, it's seasoning. It's that Homeland seasoning, about a quarter inch of it on the bottom of your air fryer. Opens your air fryer, went over there to feed your cats for you one time.
Yeah.
And that stuff that's in the bottom of your air fryer, your air filter, if you're going to leave that much of it in there, you should go ahead and name it.
What do you think?
It should have, there's enough stuff in the bottom of your air filter that you could name it like a pet.
Really?
It's nasty in there. I'm not eating anything that comes out of your. You remember you offering me some chicken out of that thing one day, and I said, "No, it's all right, Tom. I'll pass." Okay, that's why.
It would have been good. A seasoned flat iron grill and an air fryer are two completely different things, says the texter. No, I call my air filter. Clean your dang air fryer, you nasty ASS, before you get sick.
I just don't touch anything that you've touched afterwards. So, my kids are mine. No one's going to tell me different, especially that child sniffing pedophile Biden. Thank you, Wes. Our sentiments are exactly the same.
Yeah, I bet you there's an adult there that was molested by him. I wish it would come out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the 24-year-old girl that 16 years ago, she was the 9-year-old that was at his state house, and he bounced her on his knee. let's see also from Germ, if that Joe Biden statement of our children doesn't show you they're nothing but tax cattle to our government, nothing else will. They own us. See, this is the belief. Teachers, school board, the state thinks your children belong to them because they give them the free schooling. We educate your children. But they don't ever realize who built that school. Our tax dollars built that school. They work for us. It's like the policemen, the firemen, your city officials, your elected representatives. That school teacher, school board member, principal, they work for you. It's your tax dollars that pay their salary.
Yeah.
They don't own your children. But that's what they believe. You know, just like most liberals, they think things like money in schools and electricity grows on tree. It's all free. It's all all comes from magic. And that's how they're going to power their electrical car. Is because electricity, that's not fossil fuels. No, that stuff comes out of there. It's magic.
Right.
Ask OAC. I just left a gas station where, I'm sorry, I'm grabbing your text, but I just left a gas station where a Scott, I wonder if he means Scout, to get something to drink. I noticed a Coca-Cola with a half and half pink label. Curious. I picked it up to read the label thinking it was something to do with cancer awareness. Wrong. It was Coca-Cola Transformation. What is wrong with this world? I'll tell you what. The everybody's going for this 4%, 0.04% of the trans coming out community. This is the new cool kids table. And where it's so disgusting in me is, like I said, I can have respect for a lesbian. That's a choice. A gay, that's a choice. If you're trans and you think you're something you're not, that's crazy. That's a mental deficiency. That makes as much sense as if you told me you thought you was a floor lamp.
I heard that one. Yeah, I heard that one. And you would think, says the texter, Russ, that all these laboratories would be required to have a fail-safety device to destroy all of those samples.
You would think, if nothing else, considering they're in a war-torn country and this fighting broke out, yes, it was a rapid fight, but you would think that the professors and the people that was in charge of that lab would immediately said to themselves, hey, we could be taking over here. These diseases that could kill millions of people could fall into hands. Let's destroy these. Let's transport these. Let's do something to secure these. If not, let's destroy them and make them where they can't hurt anybody. But they didn't. They just allowed it to fall in the hands of, and I'm so secured, rebels took it. Sudanese rebels. That sounds like a scientifically advanced group to me.
One more text. Jeremy from Lovington says, we should all just quit our jobs that involve paying taxes and get cash only. Boy, we'll see how far the government gets with that, says the texter.
Yeah. Just one time I want to see that. All right, we need to get to our boob of the day. Also, we got to take a break. I'll tell you, why don't we do that? Why don't we go ahead and take a Fox News break now? When we get back, we still got more than a half hour show to go. We're going to get to our good news story of the day coming up. Our boob of the day, I'm going to tell you about an 8-foot alligator in a basement in Pennsylvania. You can figure out how it gets there, and we'll be back with more of B and the Breakfast Club. Here's Fox News Now, 105. We'll be right back.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. There could be a vote this afternoon or this evening on a House Republican bill to raise the nation's debt limit if there's enough support for it to pass.
There appears to be a deal. A senior Republican tells Fox's Chad Pergram on a plan from House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to raise America's borrowing limit and avoid a default that could damage the economy. But that senior Republican says McCarthy made changes to parts of the plan, such as ethanol tax credits, to get hesitant members on board.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Yosemite National Park in California will be closed from Friday to at least next Wednesday because of flooding and more flooding expected.
Some areas around the park saw around 240% of the snow they'd normally receive in a winter. Some campsites have started to flood and water continuously flows over some roads. Landslides have also damaged some sections of roads, and this isn't even the peak of the snow melt.
That's Fox Weather's Max Gordon. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Daniel Velch, General Manager, Carlsbad Chevrolet, asking you to push it, pull it, and drag those old cars from your driveway. Heck, the old cars you left in Mom or Grandma's driveway. If you have a title, they can be worth $3,000 on this program. We've dragged in a scrap bin to the front of our lot to send those suckers right to the boneyard. This program was made for people like you and me, and I'm going to help you take advantage. Right here at Carlsbad Chevrolet, 2155 South Canal Street in Carlsbad. Also, like us on Facebook for service and parts specials throughout the month.
Hobbs, get ready as 505 Productions is back this weekend with their huge gun and knife show. In fact, the largest 505 has ever had in Hobbs at the Lee County Event Center. This Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
This Eunice Cardinals update being brought to you by Guns Up Services, 2403 Avenue O, proudly supporting the Eunice Cardinals.
Guns Up Services, LLC of Eunice, supporting the community for over 13 years, wants to wish the Eunice Cardinals another winning year and are also encouraging everyone to show up in support of all Eunice sport. With oil field services that range from vacuum trucks, winch trucks, dump trucks, and backhoes, they have frac tanks, caliche, downhole chemicals, saltwater disposal, and freshwater sales. Guns Up Services, LLC, helping keep our oil field trucking. 2403 Avenue O, Eunice. Or call at 575-399-2457. That's 575-399-2457. Go Cardinals.
The Eunice Cardinals are, well, the Eunice Cardinals. They are the defending Class 2A baseball champions, are 13-5 overall, and are 5-0 in district play with one more district game to go this week. And the Cardinals are playing like the defending 2A champions. The team currently is on a 5-0 run since district, and Eunice earlier this year also had a 6-0 win streak. In the doubleheader against county rival Jal last week, they beat them in the doubleheader 21-4 and 12-0. In that game, Eunice's Aiden Pender went 3 for 4 with 6 RBI. Alfredo Morales was also 3 for 4, including a double, and he knocked in 3 RBI. And he also scored twice. Jal coach Johnny Estrada says the Cardinals are going to be the team to beat again in Class 2A for the state title.
Yeah, I think they can take it again. Drew has them ready to go. He's just a great coach.
This Eunice Cardinals update has been brought to you by Guns Up Services, 2403 Avenue O in Eunice, proudly serving the community for over 13 years. Go Cardinals!
Calling all clay shooters. The best sporting clay shooters in southern New Mexico and West Texas will gather at the Inn of the Mountain Gods Casino and Resort in beautiful Mescalero, New Mexico on June 30th and July 1st for the 7th annual Aim High Shooting Competition to benefit ENMU Ruidoso. This year's 4-person team competition features 100 targets with side events for additional fees, plus a dinner and dance on Saturday evening, which will include an awards ceremony, raffles, and gun boards. All shooters will be entered to win a Beretta 686 Silver Pigeon over-under 12-gauge shotgun, plus your team could win prizes for scoring first or second place. Early registration is online now at scorechaser.com, and discount rooms and cabins are available. Call now to reserve your flat of ammunition and load up your side-by-side. Aim high. For more information, call Rhonda at 575-937-1475. That's 575-937-1475. This message is sponsored by the Ruidoso and Lincoln County Lodgers Tax Committees.
Rio Grace Landscaping of Lovington is open for business at their new location, just north of Lovington on the Tatum Highway at 4 Crockett Road. You can find fruit, shade, and flowering trees as well as hydrangea, roses, lavender, and so much more. Find your fire pits and hot tubs, all proudly made in the USA. Open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday and on Sunday by appointment. Call the landscape experts today at 575-396-7464. Rio Grace Landscaping, your ultimate service garden center and landscape professionals.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Good morning over the southeast plains of New Mexico on this Wednesday. It's 72 degrees in Roswell, but 81 degrees in Carlsbad, Artesia. A bit cooler on this Wednesday than yesterday. 75 degrees in Lovington. Then tomorrow's highs will begin to rebound somewhat. 77 degrees in Lovington and Carlsbad, Artesia near 81 degrees. Roswell near 79 degrees. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet. And broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. And YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Facebook live video feed brought to you by Desert Sand Water Well. Online at desertsandsnm.com.
Very discreet, but I'll haunt your dreams.
Well, we try to stick around anyway. Be in the Breakfast Club. Good morning, Tom A. Reese in the studio with me. Text lines are open, 877-396-9105.
And text says, Jeremy, only real men carry 1911, and you, Sir Russ, are a real man. And we salute you, buddy.
I just clicked your deal. I thought I was clicking mine. Go ahead. Also from the text line, I pray for the day when normal people will finally come together and stand up against the corrupt government. Well, if we did, they would call it an insurrection. Blame it all on Donald Trump.
Right. Wes from the Patch says, why? That's why I homeschool my boys. I'll be damned if they're going to go a school system and be programmed to fit the agenda of others. BS. That's West this morning. And that's why a lot of people are going to homeschool or put their kids in another type of charter school. Right?
Oh, there is a school riot going on right now, and UNC, University of North Carolina professors. Apparently the students are in a riot right now because the school professors signed and 673 university professors. I didn't realize the college is big enough to have 673 school professors signed a letter opposing courses on America's founding and the Constitution. In other words, they want to push their CRT at this college level, and the actual courses that cover American history and the Constitution, they want canceled.
Wow.
From North Carolina University, there is the latest update
on that. Dude.
It's a breaking story this morning. And first responders sound alarm after popular pickup batteries fires cause a concern. First responders sound alarm over EV batteries after electric F-150s are bursting into flames. Shocking video showing a row of F-150 electric EVs overheated and caught fire overnight. They just sitting there. Not just one of them. They just sitting there, and a whole row of these electric vehicles heated up and caught on fire. These 10,000-pound EV pickup trucks. That's another breaking story this morning from Fox News Business. I tell you what, it's all seemed to be upside down world. Text lines are open, 877-396-9115, 877-396-W105.
You know, I heard they don't teach the Declaration of Independence in school anymore, says Germ, because it is our duty as we the people to stand up against a tyrannical government. They can't teach that in school, says Germ this morning. And a lot of schools also,
they can, they just won't.
Well, and you've heard too, I mean, a lot of schools don't even do the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning anymore. And did y'all read my text about the face tattoos? I missed it if you did, says the texter.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we did.
And we understand, yes, no, you can't judge a book by the cover. But let's just say I was speaking about this one subject, and he doesn't have face tattoos. He's changed his facial appearance to look like a demon and going the whole boat, and it would have been a pretty telling sign. And, you know, the fact that he ate an Uber driver, that was another tip-off right there. Maybe there was some mental instability.
Have you ever had tats? You got tats on you?
I've got a tat. I have one tattoo.
What's the second?
Well, I have 3. I have a little bitty yin and yang. It's on my tuchus, and it's almost...
Your tuchus?
My tuchus. And it's almost microscopic. And then I've got this. And it's
big old fly?
Just a big old eagle. It's a big old American eagle on my arm. And then I've got a drunken tattoo that's on the side of my knee that was going to be a girl's name when I was really young. And it was just turned out to be a D. And then I went, ow, this hurts. So I have a D on my knee, and she knows who it's for. But yeah, that was very much in my youth. That's the only tattoos I have.
I don't have any because I don't like needles.
Oh, I can see you. I would pay to get you a tattoo if you would get it. You need You need a Peppy to Pew. What you need? You need a little Peppy to Pew. One of the news stories I've been teasing this morning is about an 8-foot alligator. This one is hitting news circles, and it's just kind of humorous the way this story takes place. A huge alligator in Pennsylvania is 8 feet long. Basically, it had been a pet. They was keeping it in this basement room, which, considering it, by the way, they say alligators are at least smart as dogs, if not smarter. So, and they say a dog is as smart as a 2-year-old. So this poor old 8-foot-long alligator's been raised in this basement since it was a little pet. Then the couple divorces, and one person wants his gator back but can't get it out of the basement. So they called in law enforcement and told law enforcement that it was a 5-foot-long alligator and they needed some help. When law enforcement got there and peered through the little window, they said there was a little window they could peer through prisoners. And there's this 8-foot alligator that was staring back at him through the glass, and he immediately looked at him and opened his mouth and hissed. And the police officer's like, oh, my.
Right.
So, anyway, they brought animal control in. It took several members of animal control to actually wrestle this gator out of the house. And the owner's ex-wife did not want the reptile living in her basement anymore after her husband left, so that's why she wanted it removed. And now the gator was not, since the man kind of abandoned it when he left, they can't release it to him.
Oh.
So they didn't go into great deal of detail about what was going to happen to this alligator, but they've already named it. It's named Big Mac. And they're trying to send it to a animal sanctuary somewhere in the Everglades. So
now I read a story last week about someone using an alligator as a pet. I'm thinking, the alligators, when they're hatched and get to grow, do they just have that predatory instinct to them and can't be used as a pet?
Well, there's 60 million years of evolution there. 60 billion years of evolution there. So I imagine some of that instinct to eat stuff that's warm is probably still there.
But do you think
I don't think you can make it that tame.
But okay, let's say they keep the little alligator, right, from little hatchling till he grows bigger, and you pet him. And
you ever seen Lake Placid? You need to watch a movie called Lake Placid.
What's that about?
It's about an alligator that gets raised in a lake because it's a pet, and because it's being regularly fed like a cow at a time.
A cow.
A cow. There's one scene where it shows Betty White leading the cow down to the edge of the water to feed her pet gator. This turns into a huge gator. The movie's called Lake Placid, and the best line Betty White has ever said. The line that just took me. I can't even repeat it on the radio, but anybody that's seen the movie Lake Placid knows exactly what Betty White said that just laid the whole audience out on the floor of the theater. It was, anyway, I'll tell you after the show, but it's not something I can say on the air. We've got to get to our boob of the day. We have went deep, and we haven't gotten to boob or the good news story of the day. And the boob of the day brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. They've got 3 professionals on staff, almost 70 years of experience, where they offer functional medicine such as natural supplements, stem cell therapy, ozone therapy, hormone optimization. Desert Functional Medicine believes in treating the root of the problem, not just numbing the symptoms. Desert Functional Medicine, you wouldn't believe that's what Kevin Bonner claims keeps him on his feet, is the care that he's gotten on his injuries and problems. Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics, 3900 North Lovington Highway, Suite 550 in Hobbs, and they bring you the boob of the day. Wow, that was loud. I had that up too loud. How often do you know these whose pants you're wearing? You ever had any question on whose pants you're wearing? One night after a party when I worked at a strip club, that was a long time ago. That's another story. But anyway, a 62-year-old man in Pennsylvania named Cameron Bell was pulled over earlier this month because he stopped at an intersection where there wasn't a stop sign.
Uh-oh.
The cops saw him and decided to see what the deal was.
Pulled him over.
They pulled him over, and he was a mess. He failed the field sobriety test. The officers discovered a half ounce of meth and a baggie of crack in his sock. Also, he had a crack pipe in one of his pants pockets.
Trouble.
Cameron insisted he was innocent. He said he didn't know how the drugs got into his sock and they weren't his pants. He didn't know whose they were.
Okay.
What? It can't be me. What? These aren't my pants. As compelling as his arguments were, Cameron was arrested and charged with multiple crimes, including possession of a controlled substance, DUI, and telling a stupid story to a police officer. There you go. Cameron, who didn't know whose pants he was wearing, you are our boob of the day. And the boob of the day brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine. Text lines are open, 877-396-W105.
Hey, old Robbie says, hey, Tom, all Cajuns have pet alligators, says the text. And Tom could get a tattoo of a food buffet. Yeah, I probably could.
There you go. Tattoo of a plate of chicken fry with gravy.
But it made me hungry all the time, though. That's a bad thing.
Side of pie on the side.
Ooh, coconut pie.
Looking at some of the other news stories out there, Harry Belafonte.
I saw that.
Has died.
96 years
Somebody
old.
that
You ready?
Well, it was his politics. This guy, for one, he was as much a racist and hated white people as much as Samuel L. Jackson. And just, I mean, more on the wrong side of things than Geraldo. But
he had the big hit. What was it?
Dale.
The Dale.
There you go. Yeah, I told my son when he said, what's he singing about? You know, it's a Banana Boat song. And I said, well, listen to him. He's saying, Deo. Talking about bread, man. Deo bread. My son still thinks that song is about Deo bread. So, no, I had to explain to him. Yeah, that's a dad laugh. Okay. And also, Illinois lawmakers are considering a bill that would make it illegal to turn human remains into compost.
Huh.
So it's going to be legal in Chicago for you to take human remains, grind them up in your wood chipper, and use them as compost if you want. And the legislation is getting strong support from environmentalists and the Chicago Mafia. Finally going to figure out what to do with Jimmy Hoffa's body.
Right.
So Morrison Coors has pledged to reduce its water use. Our brewing company's being one of our top fresh water users in the United States, and Molson Coors has now said they will cut their water use by 22% by 2025. And they say they're going to be replacing the water they're using with a liquid that looks and smells and tastes a lot like water. So apparently they're going to be using Coors Light.
Okay.
So that's what it says. Also, according on TV news, according to Globe Magazine, Ellen DeGeneres, they say, is drowning her sorrows in booze.
Oh, poor
Yep.
thing.
And they say, insiders say that she's a mean drunk. And they also say she's a mean sober. So that's out there.
She's just plain mean.
You were talking about tattoos earlier.
Yes.
I had a little sideline on that.
Tattoos.
Just got this in. The interview with the BBC, Mick Jagger revealed, even though he's done songs about tattoos, and there was that song, Tattoo You, and this and that, he actually has no tattoos and hates them.
Really?
He thinks it's like abusing the body that God gave you to mark it up with tattoos.
And if you wanted to take them off, they're kind of difficult, aren't they?
Well, he actually said that he remembered when he was a young man and actually thought about getting a tattoo because, you know, all of his friends returning from World War I had them.
Wow, that's quite a while.
That's a Mick Jagger's old joke. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pass you up with that. But also, Keith Richards says that he doesn't like tattoos either. No, if he's going to use a needle, he goes straight to the vein. He's not.
Okay. Right. And Russ, speaking of, since you're saying that, Texas asking, were you ever in the military?
Yes, for about a cup of coffee a long time ago, and I don't have any great stories.
No.
So, music news. According to Globe Magazine, Cher's friends, have you heard about this? Cher is in very ill health.
Really?
And some of the insiders and friends around Cher now say that she needs a heart transplant.
Wow.
She's 76 years old.
That ain't old, though.
And yeah, but it must be hard because, like, I mean, her heart's one of her few still remaining original parts.
Right.
So they're concerned about it. And then we did the news story. I had some more. Remember the news story yesterday about, I actually didn't get a chance to get to it. It's one of my silly news stories today. The moose that walked into the theater.
Oh, yeah, going to do that one?
And yeah, a moose walked into a theater in Alaska and started chowing down right out of the popcorn machine and the trash can. It just to tell you the truth, it was kind of sad watching the video and watching the animal eat out of the garbage to get the popcorn. But, you know, have you seen the prices at the concession stand?
Right.
I mean, it's terrible.
And Russ, I got a tat on my calf. If it's a rooster, I got a tat on my No. I got another text. Wait a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Alligator farming should take place of a pig for me as a convenience place to dispose of trespassers.
There you go. There you go. You better be glad I rescued you from that tax, all right?
Well, I owed you one.
And let's see, 3 or 4 of those in a row. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Let's see, Tom, I got your name tattooed on my butt cheeks.
What's that about?
There you go. And wonder how they will do when it really gets hot out there in the Southwest. I think we're talking about the pickup trucks.
Right.
Yeah, I want to see the electric pickup trucks and how they handle being used in the oil field in July. Down around Carlsbad and Artesia. Right. Yeah, bet them batteries are going to do good. Bet them, you know, and now Do you want to take something that has an electrical short and a bunch of extra? Here, let me ask some of the oil field workers. They can do this because they'll understand what I'm asking. H2S live land gas locations, stuff like that. Do you want to pull on that location with a vehicle that has approximately 200 more active electrical contacts than a regular vehicle? Every time an electrical contact comes together, there's a little spark. Whether you see it or not, there's a little spark. That electrical vehicle has almost 200 more electrical contact points than a regular vehicle.
So more to go wrong, right?
So, more little sparks, more little electrical actions, more little problems, more little dangers.
But, I mean, Russ, if it was a real electric car, right? What do you think they would use for the panels on the car, the bumpers and stuff? That's plastic, isn't it? And a fiberglass?
Say that again. You lost me, bud.
All right, so the engine is electric, right? The batteries are electric.
Yes.
But the exterior is still made out of fiberglass.
Yes,
right?
as a matter of fact, they've done crash testing. They're much worse than regular vehicles because the batteries and everything weigh so much. Then they have to compromise to get away from that weight by using lighter gauge steels, lighter weight frame, and not nearly as crash efficient in any testing as regular vehicles. Electric vehicles are just wrong all the way around. And as soon as the left realized electricity doesn't come from Santa,
well,
we have to make that with fossil fuels.
As flimsy as it is, don't hit a rollout dumpster.
And then Brandon from Artesia, I guess I just got that in the mind of the oil field workers. Said, damn, Rush, you'd had to park a mile away from location and walk there with those EVs. You're right. See, what I was pointing at is there are explosive gases around oil wells, and there's things, and you try to cut down on everything that makes a spark, and here we are now rolling vehicles out to be used, maybe even oil field work that have 200 more electrical contacts in them than a regular vehicle. Sounds to me like good ways to build a fire. Somebody else says it really sucks. It gets really hot out there in the oil patch, and we had a great schedule during the hotter hours of the year. We used to come in early and leave at the peak time of the day when it's hot to stay safe. Now they switched our schedules and they don't allow us to go in early, and they keep us out in extreme heat. This is a lot of BS. I didn't realize that was going on. You could elaborate to us what companies are enforcing that and everything.
And another texter says electric vehicles in the past would be a slap in the face to the industry. Now, I want to tell you a story right quick. So, remember I told you yesterday that my lights sensors were coming on? You know, the tire one, because the tire doesn't have a sensor. So I put
Yes, sir.
And then you've got the check engine light, right? I thought, something happened because of the dumpster. Well, a week ago, I was in Hobbs and put some gas in the car and then left.
And?
Well, it began to give me trouble after that. So I went to my buddy Nick yesterday. He's a great guy, him and his family. Just tremendous people. Anyway, I went to yesterday. Says, go ask Nick. Said, okay. So he put his diagnostic machine on it. You know, diagnoses your car. So, so I did this little deal. And then it showed him that something was wrong with the exhaust. Oh, I know what it is. So
your oxygen sensors, that's why you've got your engine light on, right?
Well, it went over there and he pulled the gas open, the gas door. I forgot to put the cap back on.
That's why your check engine light was on?
Yeah.
Just in case we haven't established this, and Kevin hasn't laid the groundwork for this upcoming statement in firm enough.
What?
You're a boob.
Right.
You should be the boob of the day every day. This morning, by the way, when you were leaving your bus, did you see the pickup pull out in the long field across from you and see your headlights on and blink his headlights at you?
No.
Did you notice the pickup blinking his headlights
you?
at you? That was me.
Why were you
Since you
blinking
have such a hard trouble figuring out where I live,
Oh.
when you can see me from your house.
I didn't see him, buddy.
Anyway.
I may have, but I wasn't.
Finish up the request line, the text line, because we've got to get to our good news
Let's do
story
it.
of the
All
day.
right. So Texas says, I don't like Cher now, but in the early 70s, I really liked her a lot, says the texter.
Somebody says on tattoos, he says, I have a W on each cheek. I drop my pants and bend over, and everybody says, wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and Russ, are you going to finish that D? No, not unless I finished it with the word divorce. That's the only way. Because my wife doesn't have a D in her name. I finished that D on my knee. I might as well just make it the word divorce. So, all right. And let's see. Go ahead. You're at the text line. I'm stealing your thunder here.
Right,
I'm ahead of you.
This text says, boy, them EVs won't survive the lease road, says the texter. I know they're like, yeah.
And
up.
somebody sent us a picture, and it says Fox News new host for the Tucker Carlson Tonight show, and it's a picture of the little trans guy, Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I recessed that name, but I did. I hate pop country. That's why we don't play it at W105.
Mm-hmm. Right about that, brother. And another texter says, hurry to bleep, 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 Tom. Well, I was getting into a nice story. And then Russ called me a boob.
Hey, that was nice compared to what I've heard Kevin call you.
Now, another texter says, the system thinks parents are too stupid to teach their own children, says the texter. Now, if that's the case, as I'm waiting for that, if that's the case, can we blame the teachers who taught the parents?
There you go. Maybe we can go all the way. Maybe we can keep going back. Let me get in a few people I want to thank before we get to our good news story of the day. Chance Materials, because when it matters, material matters, and Chance Materials provides the affordable ready-mix concrete, unmatched customer service. Chance Materials with plants in Carlsbad and Roswell, ready-mix concrete. Chance Materials, because when the project matters, your materials matter. And also, I want to thank Pipeline Inspection Service, Mike and Matt Hemmingson, second-generation pipeliners with experience in the patch you need. I-River Inspections, over 300 years combined oil field-related experience. Always work with the best interest in mind, offering pipeline facility inspection, industry and safety training, as well as top-notch industry consulting. Iron River Inspections, on the job to ensure it's done right. 1210 Main Street in Eunice. IronRiverInspections.com. Wrap up the text. We're going to good news.
All right. So why don't you play Chris Stapleton or Eric Church? Asked the texter.
We are updating some of the songs that's going to be coming out during the summer. And things like Tennessee Whiskey and some of the other songs are probably going to be filtering their way into our traditional format. I've been talking to Will, and we're probably going to add some things. We kind of have this thing, we don't do them by certain years. Mm-hmm. But then there's some other songs like Sangria that we play.
Right.
That doesn't abide by that rule of years or anything. It's because of the sound. If it's good country traditional sound, country style sound, if it was made yesterday, we still, and you're liable to hear it on W105.
Huh. And did you know that the new Ford Lightning still need oil changes? Asked the texter.
No, I guess there's going to be some lubrication oils that have to do with bearings and so forth, and that's going to have to be changed and flushed and maintained like anything else. And then if they're a hybrid, that means they've got a gasoline engine that actually charges the electric battery. So you're still going to have to do the normal maintenance that you do on that that motorcycle.
You know what I've noticed? And you can tell an electric car right away. You know how? By the color of the car. Recently, I've seen a bunch of these gray-like cars. You know, what's that stuff that they put on before they paint a car? What's that called?
Primer.
They
all kind of look like they're primers, but it's glossy.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean electric. That's a very popular color on cars nowadays. Matter of fact, Lori Egg, our Eggleton.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misspoke her name. Lori Eggleton, Lori Egg. She just brought something that is so pretty. I didn't realize that Rangers made a crew cab. That Ford was making a crew cab Ranger.
Wow.
This is a crew cab Ranger, and it's painted in what they call mint gray. It's that primer gray, but there's just a little tint of green in it.
Right, you can tell.
Just a little tint, and it's beautiful. My goodness, that's a beautiful truck, and I'm flat hot for this crew cab Ranger. These look good.
Wow.
Now you got me off, man. Don't talk about guns or trucks. I'm a dude. You'll get me sidelined, and we got to get going here.
Do it.
It's time for the good news of the day. Also, we're coming up on Tradio, where you get to buy, sell, and trade on the radio, just moments away from that. And your good news story of the day brought to you by, somebody that's good news. We've got him around. Your Farmers Insurance agent, Herschel Rustin Hayes, 1109 West Avenue D in Lovington. This is a hometown boy I've known since his mama was carrying him around in a blanket. Just a good guy and somebody that's so invested in Lovington and Lee County, southeast New Mexico, and its people. Your Farmers Insurance agent, Herschel Rustin Hayes. Here's his phone number, 396-0513. He takes care of your home, your auto, your life, your commercial insurance. And again, there's nothing you can have for us hometown folks better than a hometown boy like Herschel Rustin Hayes. And I thank him for that and for bringing you your good news story of the day. Well, in Belgium has a new goal screeching champion. They do an annual contest for people impersonate seagulls. A 21-year-old guy named Yamamoto Slutter, that's his name, won this year's while being dressed as a seagull. You can actually go to a video. It's funny as hell. Go to Gull Screeching Championships and click on the video and watch these people try to call in gulls. This is entertaining for your morning. And how's this for Mind Over Matter? A former news anchor in Houston broke both of his wrists.
Oh, no.
In an Ironman race on Saturday and still finished. He crashed 8 miles into the 112-mile bicycle portion. Didn't realize his wrist was broken, so he rode 104 miles and ran the full marathon. It was at the end of the race that he went to the hospital, and they said he had 2 broken wrists. Wow. I think that's called adrenaline. Also, I feel like these folks might see a lot of the same customers. 26 Burger Kings just closed down in Michigan last week.
Yeah.
And over 400 people got laid off. But now a weed company is offering to hire all of them and pay more than they was making before. They're all going to make at least $16 an hour. So they lost their jobs at Burger King, but they're going to work for the weed company. And like I said, I bet they get to take care of a lot of the same customers. And we heard about this guy a few years ago. He is trending again. In 2005, a guy in Ohio named Dale Schroeder passed away at the age of 86 and used his $3 million life savings to send 33 kids to college. He grew up poor, never married, worked as a carpenter for 67 years, but he still managed to squirrel away all that money. And see, he never got to go to college. He wanted to be sure to help kids. He only helped that they pay it forward someday. And now one of the kids that's been educated and has a degree has already donated back for a scholarship for other students. So it's all being paid forward. His original donation is probably going to affect way more lives than he thinks. And there you go. That's your good news stories of the day. Brought to you by Russell Hurston Hayes, your farmer's insurance agent. And there you go. And right at 9:30, wrap up the text line for me, Tom A. Reese, 877-396-W105.
And good morning. How about Tennessee Whiskey can be played by the older version of David Allan Cole?
There you go. I need you to find that.
I like that.
Thank you. I'm glad you gave me that. And it should be Don Williams Day.
And then, and then another one says you should play Cody Johnson if you don't already.
Get some good Texas country. I don't know. We're going to be talking about that, but that's one of the things that's in the talk right now is updating and adding. None of your traditional country we play will ever go away.
Right.
But we may be adding more music, and we do that almost every month. We add more and more music to the selection.
All right.
Tom A., I think we're done. It's 9:30, sir. That's going to be B and the Breakfast Club coming up. Tradio, you got local news of New Mexico, and then we'll buy, sell, and trade. In the morning, probably another check-in with Kevin B. calling in from the Philippines. Give us his condition.
Wait. I said I had a story to do, right?
Okay. What do you do? Do it quick. Do it quick.
Roswell's young man who moved to Texas when he was a freshman, because he wasn't doing over there in Roswell, was doing good. So anyway, his mom moved him to Lampasas. And I've talked about it. His mom, Lisa Arthurs, and Adam Arthurs graduated from high school there and then went into the Navy. Well, in the 2 years he's been there, it was announced yesterday that he has won the Blue Jacket of the Quarter Award, which means they awarded to recognized soldiers for their outstanding and professional performance during the quarter.
Well, congratulations. And much admiration for your accomplishments.
Thank you.
Glad we could get to that on Being the Breakfast Club. Okay, let's go to Tradio in the morning. Will Rooney back again, kicking off the show with us 6 a.m. We'll see you then. I'm back with Tradio after the break. Tom A's got to get your afternoon country started. You got to go back there and pick out some good music now.
MTD Radio News. I'm Jim Miller. City of Hobbs contracted with the company StreetScan in order to assist in the creation of a budgeting tool and assessment of the roads in Hobbs. StreetScan is known for automated continuous roadway health monitoring that preserve team resources and funding. The purpose of the study was to assess the needs of road repairs and prioritize the repairs based on the use levels as well as current conditions on the roads. The roads were scanned by a vehicle equipped with one 2D camera and one 3D camera, collecting the necessary data in only 4 days. The maintenance of these roads is dependent between the state of New Mexico and city of Hobbs. Well, COVID cases rose in Eddy County as a state-mandated public health order issued nearly 3 years ago expired. That, according to the New Mexico Department of Health, Eddy County's COVID positivity rate was 12.40% during the March 28th to April 10 reporting period, and the cases per 100,000 was 6. Eddy County's positivity rate and COVID cases per 100,000 were the highest in southeast New Mexico during the late March to early April period. Cases per 100,000 people and positivity rates were low in Chavez, Lincoln, Lee, and Otero counties. An owner of a now-defunct escrow company in Roswell who allegedly took large sums of money from hundreds of clients is set to plead guilty to 2 federal charges in accordance with the charge of a plea agreement. Attorney for the District of New Mexico indicated that Christopher Adam Jensen Tanner will plead guilty to 1 count each of wire fraud and engaging in a monetary transaction in property derived from unlawful activity. Last year, Jensen Tanner, one of former corporate officers and owners of Roswell Escrow Services, pled not guilty to 34 counts of wire fraud. He's accused of committing more than $2 million worth of fraud when he moved funds back and forth between the company's trust accounts. That's what's happening. I'm Joe Miller, MTD Radio News.
Hobbs, get ready as 505 Productions is back this weekend with their huge gun and knife show. In fact, the largest 505 has ever had in Hobbs at the Lee County Event Center. This Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
Reading Under the Lights is happening Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium. There'll be free food, books, and other fun activities for the kids to enjoy. Bring out the whole family. Reading stations featuring Hobbs Fire, Police, Lee County Sheriffs, and NMJC basketball from 5 to 6 p.m. Then from 6 to 7, reading and special guest speaker, 2017 Super Bowl champion and children's book author Malcolm Mitchell, and book signing with an autograph session from 7 to 8. Come out and support the first ever Reading Under the Lights, Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium at 5 p.m. Brought to you by the United Way of Lee County, Hobbs Municipal Schools, and the J.F. Maddox Foundation.
Don't miss the Ugly Boot Sale now through April 30th at Workin' Guys. Buy 3 pairs for